What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Matriarchy. It is I, God Empress Jesse Milestone, joined as always by my incredible, wonderful, talented co-host, Anna, that Star Wars girl.
What's up? I'm so tired.
I am hanging in there. We got our first super chat from Mr. Another, who says late, true, but less late than I think any other previous week. So, Mr. Another says, if you guys got Mecha Red and 42 as a guest, you can call that episode 2.5 Women. Ha ha ha.
Because I'm the half, because I'm little.
Exactly.
Actually, Jesse's going to be out of town next week, so I was thinking of asking her to come on instead of just canceling the show, because it's me and Jesse's show. But I've actually never had that. No, I've had her on once where we were reading the Takes Pill. Or no, we were reading the Raylo. All of the people that were pissed off at me and Jesse for the Raylo stuff. And Jesse was supposed to come on, but she had some things that she had to deal with. So I had Drunk Debut on, I had Tom on, and then he invited Mecca and Rob, and we did dramatic readings of the Raylo tweets. So no, not tweets, comments on the Raylo video. So yeah, I was thinking of asking her to come on and be Jesse's sub for the day.
As long as you don't like her enough that you replace me. But I know that'll never happen.
Never.
We're irreplaceable for each other. And if you guys are just joining us, make sure you do press the like button. If for some weirdo reason you're not already subscribed to Anna, make sure you do that. The link is in the description. And if you're not already subscribed, like I said, what are you doing? So we got some fun. We got two main topics to cover today. Oh, we can also talk about, and if you've seen all of we can always dunk on Matt Jarbo if we run out of things to talk about, because I was doing that on Twitter. It's always fun for me. Monday Matt is just struggling for relevance and not getting it, so it's always fun to throw him a little attention by pointing out how much of a loser he is. And we got a super chat from Anthony Shilley. Says, I finally got my job back, woo, along with an earache.
Congratulations!
Yay for the job. So this popped up it's the end of last week or something. Rian Johnson, another person struggling to remain relevant, decided that he wanted to respond to a tweet earnestly asking, I assume in earnest, I don't know if the initial point of the tweet was try to say something genuinely nice about it because you can't, or ask people to do it because they legitimately wanted nice things. But either way, you can see, we'll share this up here real quick. And this just, I think this is just this captures to me the headline, the articles have been going on. It captures to me everything that's wrong with Hollywood reporting right now. Rian Johnson praises George Lucas's work on Star Wars prequel trilogy. First of all, why is this news? Why have at least three different places written an article? It's like, oh, tomorrow's news flash.
Trying to stay relevant in the Star Wars community.
Tomorrow's news flash. Rian Johnson took a shit and it didn't stink. Wow, amazing. So you shouldn't be dropping S-bombs while we're still in the intro level.
Oh, you're fine. We're past 30 seconds, so you're fine.
We're not an intro anymore. So let me get rid of this creepy ad. So the tweet basically, again, I don't know the original intention of the original tweeter. I had it and I just lost. Here we go. Scott Malthouse, whoever he is, said, say a genuinely nice thing about the Star Wars prequels. So Rian Johnson says, Lucas made a gorgeous 7-hour-long movie for children about how entitlement and fear of loss turns good people into fascists, and did it while spearheading nearly every technical sea change in modern filmmaking in the past 30 years. So, first of all, I just love that when asked to say a genuinely nice thing,
he's a passive-aggressive asshole.
He couldn't do it exactly without his little backhanded, a 7-hour-long movie for children. Really, dude? You want to start griping about the length of movies? Your movie was, before Rise of Skywalker, the longest Star Wars movie and by far the most boring. So don't sit here and give me the 7-hour movie for children. And then for children, really? Because that was his whole defense is, my movie's just for children. Do you think you did that with your film? Because you did not make any kind of intense commentary. You did not spearhead any.
He showed us green alien titty milk. That's what he gave us. What? He showed us that, hey, full-grown men, it's still okay to breastfeed.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, but men drinking like titty milk, drinking
Whoa.
titty milk, and fucking abusive relationships are not exactly for children. Thank you very much. Also, addition, I was thinking about, I was like, you don't talk about for children or not for children. You can say what you want about the prequels. I think, yes, some moments went a little too far for children. Some moments went a little too far not. But look at a scene like Luke's entire story in Empire Strikes Back, when he goes to Dagobah and he's training to be a Jedi. That entire scene, a lot of the dialogue is Yoda imparting wisdom, imparting these lessons very steeped in Zen philosophy, these very heady concepts, which a child's not necessarily going to understand. But what else is happening during that scene? Luke is running around with a cute little puppet on his back, training, and we're watching his bumps along the way in his training. To me, that was a perfect balance of for children, not for children. Here's a great opportunity to sit down and start, bringing some of this philosophy, this very Eastern-based philosophy of the Jedi religion, telling us this for the very first time, but wrapping it in a package so that if a kid's watching this, they're not listening to what Yoda's saying. They're going, haha, that green man talks funny, and being entertained by the cute puppet. So it was the perfect balance right there and you even go to Return of the Jedi, where we can all admit that Ewoks are pandering for products and whatnot, pandering to the kids, and sure, and it worked. Children love the cute little teddy bears, but then the Ewoks versus the Empire are an allegory for every time guerrilla warfare has successfully fended off a larger force, going back all the way to say our own American Revolution or the Vietnam War. So you had these allegorical elements that an adult can appreciate and that will resonate with them while still having elements paired for children. Meanwhile, let's go to Octu with Luke and Rey. Nothing interesting happened. What is for children in that whole thing? The entire thing is just a cynical old bastard communicating his apathy and jadedness to someone without any movement, interest. Something that's going to use your movies for children. What in any of that part of the film is for
children? Don't care about The Last Jedi, which is the film that Ryan. There's no toys for them. They don't want the stupid horses that Disney did sell. Disney sold those stupid horses. They made plush of those stupid horses from Canto Bight. Kids don't care. I think the only thing that kids might have wanted to play with that they could have made was, remember how the little alien was trying to stick the coins in the slot machine? Or they thought that BB-8 was that would have actually been a good toy if you get the little alien thing and it chases BB-8 and it tries to put coins in BB-8, and you could have sold them separately and made double the profit. You could have been an asshole, sold them separately, so kids were like, "Oh, that one funny scene where the thing tried to stick coins in BB-8."
Or have a button.
And the crystal foxes, they didn't make any
why didn't they do that?
Kennedy's in that little clip. I love the crystal foxes. It's like, well, then you didn't make any product for them.
Why didn't you make any product? Yeah, the only thing
they had porgs, but that was stupid.
You had porgs, and so you had let's cut to a couple scenes of comic relief of unnecessary comic relief with Chewbacca and the porgs. But the whole point was that the way Lucas always did it is in the same scene you had stuff for both people. That's not like, oh well, this scene's for children and this scene's for adults. So if you put it all together, you have a movie for nobody, which is exactly what Rian Johnson did. But exactly that, yeah. Which is so funny to me that he's sitting here, trying to praise Lucas as if he thinks he's up there somehow. But everything else he said, like, again, what technological breakthroughs did The Last Jedi bring us? What visual innovations did we get? Yeah, it looked pretty, but it's all the CGI he used in that was just what was available. He didn't groundbreak any new technologies. He didn't innovate anything. I mean, George Lucas and his team, they invented the idea of using the motion capture rigs for spaceships. Before that, spaceships were hanging on wires and stuff like that. Like, you're sitting here praising someone as if you think you're so great yourself. Yeah, take a look at yourself when you say things like this. Take a look at your own hand. And that goes into the rest of it too. Entitlement and fear of loss turns good people into fascists. All right, Ryan Johnson.
I would also just like to say that, okay, Yeah, George Lucas has been on camera saying that it's for kids, but let me explain something. He only said that because he was so frustrated with people saying, oh, this isn't mature enough, this isn't this, and this. You need to understand that the thing, when people say it's for kids, it's actually not for kids, unless it's something specifically like Teletubbies or teaching children how to read. Usually for movies and TV shows, people try to make, and they use the scapegoat of this is for kids, but honestly, if it's rated G, it's basically anything that's PG and G, that's a family movie. And that's actually something that when Walt Disney was creating Disney and they would say, oh, your movie's for kids, he would get offended and he would say, no, my movies are not just for kids, they're family movies, they're meant to be enjoyed at all ages. And that's something that I think George Lucas was striving to as well. He wanted to create something that you could watch at any age, and that's a family movie. And I think that people just use the little, they stamp on kids. Oh, it's for kids. That means adults can't like it too. No, it's a family movie. It can be enjoyed at all ages, and you get something different out of it at different ages because, as a kid, you don't understand certain things. And then when you're an adult and you go back and watch it, you understand it and you have this whole different meaning. Like as a kid, watching Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back, I didn't understand what the cave thing meant. I was like, Mom, what the heck does this mean? And she's like, he had a mission or something. And I'm like, what the? And, I later, the more, because I watched this movie thousands of times, I watched it, I started to understand, and I got it a little bit more. And then, a little bit later on, because I watched it when I was very, very young, like infant young, like 2. And then when I was about 6 or 7, I finally understood what it meant. And so and then as an adult, it's like, what it meant. But then once you start going through that, when you go on your own life journey and you're trying to find who you are and you watch that, it has a very different impact with you. You might have been able to understand it your entire life. And it's kind of like watching a movie about, people that are falling in love. And it's like you watch it, you understand the concept of it. But once you've experienced love for the first time in your life, watching a movie about, that has a whole different meaning because now you have that life experience to relate to it in a whole nother way. And so that's something that you can find in the prequels. That's something you can find in the original trilogy. It's not something you can find unless you're a really fucked up person. That's not something you can find.
In the true love with this man who tortures me. That's one thing. Oh God, to me, because people talk all about that, especially, and that's like you have so much more responsibility, especially when you say your movie's for children. In something like the relationship between Rey and Kylo Ren, because those are what kids are going to carry with them. And I've talked extensively about how it just plays into a really ugly trope about the woman who needs to save the damaged man, and how this is the kind of idea we plant in children that encourages women to then go on and stay in abusive relationships and think, oh, I can save him, I can fix him, I can change him, which ends up being unhealthy for the woman and the man involved. And it's just like, but it's your point. I mean, I think it's a great point that you make, is that the layers in kids movies, and that's the thing. Good movies for children were never just for children. I just showed. I was having a hankering for Ice Age the other day, and I put it on. I love that movie. Jeff had never seen it, so I said, "Will you watch it with me?" And he said,
"Didn't we talk about it on the last Matriarchy when I was at your
house?" We did. That's probably why I wanted to watch it.
Yeah, I was talking about how the trailers used to not have. They had like the trailer was the whole story.
Yes,
individual story, but it had nothing to do with the movie. Like Scrat with the nut. That didn't tell you what the fucking movie was about, but that was.
You want to watch it? And then we figured out that Cecil is Sid.
Yes.
So is though. Yeah, so we watched it and it was great because the cats were fixated on Scrat. That whole opening, they were just staring at him like, what is this? It was incredible. But
did Jeff like the part with the UFO and the baby's like,
oh, he loved it. He was like, he actually made a guy was like, that was really clever. But he liked it. He liked it more than he thought he was going to. And as I'm watching this movie, I'm realizing, I'm like, not only was this movie not just for kids, it has messages that are really important today that people should go back and watch this. What is that whole movie about? It's about people. It's about a bunch of different animals who look completely different, who believe very different things, who conduct their lives in completely different ways, coming together for a common good, putting their differences aside and learning how to take care of each other and starting their herd, which I think is such an important thing that we miss in today's society. Everyone's so obsessed with tribalism. My herd has to look like me. My tribe has to look, think, act like me, believe all the things that I do. And this entire point of this movie is that this was a herd of completely different people. They looked different, they acted different, they believed different things, but the core value is that they took care of each other and they respected each other. And I'm like, this is what we need to see in the media today. This is what we need to show children. Not, oh, you're virtuous because you're this color, or you're virtuous because you're gay, or you're virtuous because you're a woman. Like,
not even that. I just, like, okay, they all have their own mission. So Sid got abandoned by his family. Manny doesn't have a family. They got murdered, and he has to come to terms with the fact that they got murdered, and he has to care for and protect a child of the people, the human race, which he's like, this is a thing that potentially could be related to one of the things that killed my family.
Exactly.
And he has to come to, he cares for it. It hurts him to let the baby go at the end of the movie. Exactly. And even like when he's shocked when he sees the mom, that was the only part of the movie that still bugs me to this day, because they're like, where did she go? Like, how do they not see her? Like, how did she float away so freaking fast? That river wasn't moving that fast.
I took that as maybe because they
didn't want to show her die.
Well, I also they don't because they definitely don't show dying in that movie. But one of the things that I even says to me about that is like, yeah, it's like, where the hell did she go? But I'm like, it could also be that, it's a very like spiritual kind of her spirit. How it wasn't really her body, but her spirit had stayed to save the child, even though she had already died.
It's like one of those like what moms will do for their children.
Yeah,
I'm just like, why the fuck didn't the dad go down the freaking waterfall?
Just go down. You didn't get down fast enough. You should have done better dadding. But if you look at it, you think of the allegory in that. That's like if you made a movie where a freed slave,
and then they all come to terms with their issues at the end of the movie.
They
all go through different character development, different arcs, and they all have a redemption by the end of the movie. Exactly. How many movies can you see that happen with 3 or 4 different characters in one movie? You don't.
Exactly. It's so bad. Everyone has a different arc, and each one has important. I'm like, the basic, theme of like Manny rescue. It's like, what if you made a movie about a black slave who was freed, but whose family was killed by white people, and he finds the baby of a white slave owning family and has to care for it. It's like that. What would you think if you saw that? People would probably not get it. They probably get pissed off about it and say all sorts of dumb shit. But that's exactly what you're getting. It's like you literally made a movie. It's as easy as an allegory of a black person, a white person, a gay person all coming together to save something else. And it's like that level of allegory and all, and exactly what you said. Everyone's redemption arc. That's such a compelling. You look at Diego's story. Diego's story is entirely about him realizing that the society that raised him, the family that raised him, the ideology he was raised to believe wasn't right, and having to reject that and go off on his own. So,
he has to stand up to his brothers,
Exactly. He has to stand up to
Diego has to stand up to his brothers. Sid has to deal with the fact that his family abandoned him and find a new family. Exactly. Manny has to literally care for and protect the thing that he despises most, because it's what destroyed his life and killed his family.
Exactly.
But they just don't make movies like that. And here's the thing. These people that want all this stuff in movies now, it's like they already had it. So all you're telling me is, 1, you don't fucking watch movies, or 2, you're fucking stupid. Because if you don't, yes, it's subtle, but if it's something that I understood as a child, something you understood as a child, something people that are adults can watch and understand, and if you don't understand that, then I'm sorry, but you're not the brightest bulb. You probably shouldn't be on Twitter or being in charge of writing articles for things, because you don't have any prior knowledge on how it works.
Exactly. And I think it's a little column A, a little column B. I think you hit the nail on the head. People don't look at what came before. They think everyone thinks they're so fucking smart, like Rian Johnson. They don't actually have to put the time and the work into doing it, and they are just stupid. We've given such a pass to stupidity as a culture that we've allowed people to end up in these positions that don't deserve it, that have done nothing to earn it either. That just, everyone's. It's actually, a listener sent me a book called Super Stupid that I've started working on. And I read a really great article my mom sent me the other day about this exact same thing, which is just that we have these pseudo-intellectuals in our society. Excuse me. People think they got a diploma, they went to college, and they're smart. And it's all the self-congratulatory, patting yourself on the back, shaking each other's hands, telling each other how smart you are, when reality is you're scratching the surface because it's too difficult and it's too much work for you actually to delve deeper and confront your own ignorance. Yeah.
Yep. Let me address something in the chat. I know people are going crazy. So somebody created IMDb's for everyone. Now let me explain to you guys where that origin came from. Somebody who is a huge fan of Mahler and EFAP decided to go through and make an IMDb for the show, and then decided to go and make IMDb's for everyone else in the Fandom Menace. Whoever is adding to this... Whoever is Jessie already had one because Jessie is an actress. Whoever is making them, though, it's very obvious who they know things about, and because they had it as Jeremy is a writer for my show and a producer, and I'm like, when the fuck did you write my show?
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, a lot of the stuff for EFAP is right, but everything for me, for Jeremy, for Jessie, for everyone else that has IMDb's, like, all of the information is wrong. Like, they had it that I am the middle sister and my older sister died.
Oh my
and
God.
my young, like, I'm just like, I'm the oldest sibling. I've said that multiple. So the IMDb stuff, everything is wrong. I just try to ignore it. I actually tried to contact IMDb to say, can you please take this down? Because IMDb is for people that are actually professionals that are making movies. I just have a YouTube show. I should not be an IMDb. IMDb has no way for you to remove it once it's there. So I recommend just ignoring it because everything on it is wrong.
I think I got credited as like a
as a writer and a producer for my YouTube channel, and I'm like, because we do shows together. How would we write? Like
I got credited.
The title of the thumbnail. Did you write the thumbnail for me, or did you write the title of the video, the description?
Ever. I got credited as Geeks and Gamers. I've got credited as a director for 4 episodes. And fuck you, cat. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm sitting here. My cat just walked up. He put his head in this bag and just took a piece out and was like, "Yep, rice cracker for me."
Which kitty was it?
It was Lando. He's such a little sneak. He doesn't think it actually worked for him. He creeps around. He thinks no one's paying it. This time it worked. He was like, I ain't doing nothing. And by the time I realized what he was doing, it was too late. Jesus.
Yeah, but I just recommend ignoring the IMDb. I do. So somebody like commented about how like all the information was wrong, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I ignore it. Everything about like all the trivia, all of the, like listings of my credits and stuff. I'm like, who did this? Because everything is wrong.
Okay, so in addition, we're credited for the Matriarchy now. So apparently for Mindless Entertainment, I have hosted 9 episodes, produced 9 episodes, but I only directed 8, wrote 7, and was the camera op for 2 of them. So I don't know, man.
It doesn't make sense. But like I like the idea of like for EFAP because it's like they have like the way that the show is, it's very organized. It happens once a week now on Saturdays, and like I understood where like the meaning was for the person that created it for EFAP, but ever since it branched off and started making everything for this, I'm like, everything is wrong and there's no way for me to fix it. And because my OCD is like off the charts, I just ignore it because it bothers me that I want, it's like everything is wrong and I want to fix it, but I can't fix it and I can't just delete it. So I just ignore it. And I just recommend everyone doing it as well.
Yeah, it's whatever.
But I just wanted to address that because I know people were saying Cecil has it now. And I'm just like, it's gotten to one of those things where you remember how people were like, Wikipedia is not a reliable source of information. And now I'm like looking at that and I'm like, if anyone uses that IMDb page as a reliable source of information, everything is wrong. So just ignore it.
It is. It's really bad. And I'm just sad that this is overshadowing my favorite actual recent credit, which is from We Are Cunts. So that was a couple years ago. It was a small featured I think I had one line at the opening of this web series. It was like this is Spinal Tap style show, but for like a whatchamacallit, electronic band words, whatever they're called. I sound so old. I'm like, those kids making that electronic music. Why can't I the word? It's like
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just like people who make electronic music. There's like a Yeah. Anyway, there are actual words for the genre that I'm none of which I'm saying. That's all I know. But yes, we are cunts. It was CVNT5, so they could actually use it. It's CVNT5. It's and you can, if you find their first episode, you'll see me in the beginning. Good luck and Godspeed. Also, other fun places you can find my work is the music video for Great Big World. Their song "Hold Each Other." So if you look up the music video for "Hold Each Other," which is another great song, we talk about, we talk a lot about in this channel about like doing inclusivity, whatchamacallit, about doing inclusivity and diversity and doing it right. Great Big World, one of this, it's two male singers, one is straight, one is gay, and this song "Hold Each Other," the one singer sings the first verse and the other one sings the second verse and chorus. And in the first one, the first verse he's singing about a girl, and the second verse he's singing about a guy, and they didn't run around being like, look at us being gay, look at us just do it. It was just very casually dropped in there. And I think that's the way it should be. It's like, yeah, they're just people. A guy can sing about loving a guy just as casually and regularly as a guy can sing about loving a girl.
Wasn't that oh my god, Sugar, we're going down.
Fall
Out Boy, but I'm trying to think. His lips are sweeter. Like, remember?
Oh,
what song is it?
Jimmy Eat World? Is that Jimmy Eat World?
No, it's Fall Out Boy.
Oh, Fall Out Boy song.
We're going down swinging. It's the other one.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, his lips are sweeter. And I was like, what?
Yeah, and just casually drop it in there. I think
he casually drops it in there. Like, oh yeah, the wedding's failing. By the way, I'm gonna run off with your groom since you're such a cunt. His lips are sweeter than yours. I remember that came out when I was like in middle school or something, and I was like, whoa, all right. I was like, that's how fucked up this bitch is, that he's like, no, fuck you, I'm going gay for your groom. Remember that? Does anyone else remember that? Or am I the only one?
Am I right? No, I remember that. I definitely remember that. I'm gonna hit a couple super chats and we'll get back into this Rian Johnson stuff. The hypocrisy of Rian.
After you're done, I just want to we'll have like a little tiny thing that I want to deliberate on.
Oh, sure.
For everyone. So read your super chats and share my screen.
You got it. Mr. Another says, Queen of Swords and Hobbit of Endor, aka the first couple of YouTube, the real life Raylo.
Oh, God.
Jesse is Johnny Depp to Anna's Amber Heard, and now I'll probably be dead tomorrow via 1,000 cuts.
What? Oh, I never heard.
Why do either of us have to be Amber Heard? I guess because I'm more masculine. Mr. Another says, cancel IMDb now. Problem solved. Well, we're going to talk about who we're canceling today in Hollywood.
I never try. It's like when I go and read the reviews for at least on IMDb, like the reviews, they specifically put this one has spoilers. This is my title of my thing. Like sometimes I like it, especially for older movies. But here, put it back and we'll talk about this. But no, the whole IMDb for us, it's like, again, I said, like, I get it as far as the EFAP. I see where the person was coming from, but everything that branched off of that, I just think is completely pointless. And but the thing is, like, people can add it, and then, like, like I said, like, the people that said that, like, I'm the middle child, and I was like, and then they got my name wrong. I'm just like, who is doing this? You know?
Someone got bored and they're like, oh, look, I can be the authority on these people online and I'm going to do it.
Oh, no, they gave Jeremy like producing and writing credits for my Force Talk show. And I'm like, Jeremy has nothing to do with it. He's never even been on it. Oh, wait, no, I think he came on once so he could meet Eric. Oh, look at Kitty Cat. Which kitty?
This is Jane. He's now the second biggest, even though he started as one of the littlest.
Yeah, babies.
And he's just soft.
He's one now.
All right. So I'm sorry.
Okay, you want to share my screen now?
I will. And just 1 second. I'm sharing Gene because he's so cute. I can't get over that cat. He's so soft too. Their coat's going to be like you never know. I mean, they look very similar, but their coats are polar opposite. Mal's is like really wiry, or shit pancake. It's really like thin and very wiry. Jane's is so thick and long and soft. It's ridiculous.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. Okay, what do we got going on here?
Okay, so I don't know what this account is. Oh, it's Kanye West. Okay, I didn't know that he had an account. But it said, when you go to your boy's house and you're both wearing orange. And then I was like, okay, he's wearing, I get it, he's wearing orange. Then I was like, damn, how short is Kanye West? Because I didn't think Elon Musk was a tall dude. This is my first thought process. I'm like, damn, Kanye West is short. Then I'm like,
I didn't think Elon Musk was that tall either. He almost looks, because he looks really tall in comparison, he almost looks like a weirder looking Conan O'Brien here.
well, I'm like, who took this picture? Because this is a very strange angle. But then also I was like, where's the orange? And then I was like, okay, he's wearing an orange. And then I zoomed in and I was like, what the fuck is on Elon Musk's neck?
Oh, weird.
What the fuck is on Elon Musk's neck? Like I said, like what? Well, I didn't say what the fuck. I said what the heck because I was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But let's see. But then so then I go through and people are like, oh, maybe it's a scar, maybe it's this. And then somebody posted something. Let me see if I can find it. But it was a video because they were like, oh, it's Amber Heard. It's Amber Heard. Elon Musk, it's something about like where he likes to be choked. Like somebody posted it. It wasn't that video, but somebody posted it on there, and I was like, all right, I didn't need to know that about Elon Musk, but maybe that's why they took this weird angled photo. So this is either a hickey or Elon Musk likes to be choked.
Hooray!
Like, if I could see it in this picture, because it was on my phone, and I was like, what the fuck is on his neck? And then I zoomed in, I'm like, damn, Elon Musk. All right, I just wanted to share that with everyone because I saw it, and I thought it was
Guys, first of all, don't forget to press the like button if you're joining us. We are still under 100 likes, and we have over 100 people watching, so let's bump that up there right now. Second of all, drop in the chat, what do you think is on Elon Musk's neck? We got cyborg, alien, vampire, hickey, just a scratch.
It's either a hickey or... because if he was getting choked, it would have been all the way around, so I'm like, I think it's a hickey.
But you also don't know because, right, it could have been, right?
Oh, the thumbs.
First of all, choking, if it's choking this way, it's going to be just the thumbs. Also, maybe there could have been maybe got a little scratch in there from the thumbnail or something like that.
The way it is, it looks like a hickey more so.
It does. I think it looks like a hickey. Bruise. Well, hickey is just a bruise, Alejandro Cervantes. That's what a hickey is. How else do you get a bruise here, though? I mean, no people. It's not like your knees or your elbows, something where you can bump into stuff. You don't just bump into your collar. You don't. Your collarbone doesn't just bump into door frames and stuff like that. So I don't know. Drop your theories. So the last thing I wanted to say about this Rian Johnson tweet, though, is he talks about that entitlement and fear of loss turns good people into fascists. I'm like, what are we seeing in our society today? And that's for the extremists on both sides of the aisle, the extremists in Hollywood especially. What is that? It's exactly what you're talking about, Rian Johnson. And for you too, why are you popping into these threads trying to stay relevant? Because you have the sense of entitlement to because you're this great big shot filmmaker. You have the sense of entitlement towards the Star Wars franchise because you got to make a Star Wars movie, and fear of loss. You are so fucking terrified of becoming irrelevant. You were so terrified of anyone criticizing your movie that you went and attacked the fans when people didn't like it. That's his entire legacy, is entitlement and fear of loss. And what does that lead to? Fascism. Sure, it leads to him trying to police his fans, him trying to police what people say and do and think about Star Wars and his movie. I'm like, the lack of awareness to write something like that and not be aware of exactly how you are the embodiment of that idea is just, it's beyond me. But that's these people. I mean, that's a lot of the Hollywood elitists are in their little bubbles. They find it really easy to point the finger at anyone else, and the second the mirror turns on them, they run around screaming and crying and telling you you're evil.
Yep.
So that's what I want to say about that. It's just more reasons to hate on Rian Johnson. But the big news is
he's a pompous asshole. I just want to throw in my. It's just like he didn't have to. I feel like he likes getting a rise out of Star Wars fans because I will never watch his movies because what he did to Luke Skywalker. I have no interest in seeing Knives Out I've heard people say that it was a good movie, and I'm like, well, that's even more insulting, the fact that he can write a movie. The only thing, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know the ending of Knives Out.
Oh,
you don't?
I don't.
Oh,
I haven't seen it yet, and I did kind of want to watch it. But here I can.
Okay, well, I won't say it. Okay. The thing that happens in the end, because I asked because my dad and my uncle went, and I was like, "How was it?" And they're like, "The thing at the end was just weird. Like, how would a person do that? Like, that was it. Doesn't. This isn't spoiling it. By the time you get to that part, you wouldn't be able to figure out what I was explaining. Only people that have seen the movie can. But anyways. And that's even more insulting. The fact that he can, and I would have to watch it to know if it's a good film in my opinion or not, but he's just a troll. He just likes getting a rise out of Star Wars fans. And I feel like right now he's like, nobody's paying attention to me right now. Let me piss off some Star Wars fans. That's always fun. Like, let me go kick the beehive. He is just one of those kids. I think about this. He was one of those kids that, if you think of like Lord of the Flies, he was like, as a kid growing up, he was probably like Piggy. And then now that there's the internet, and he can finally be the bully. He's like, I was bullied my whole life, and I don't know if he was or not, but I'm assuming everyone was bullied at one point in their life, so he probably was. But he was always the picky type of character. Now he's like, ooh, I got the internet. I can hide behind my keyboard. I can hide behind my keyboard and SJWs that will defend me to the end of time. Let me piss off some Star Wars fans today. And he went out of his way to do that. He's a malicious asshole. So I just want to say that.
It is. It's funny, as you mentioned Lord of the Flies, I'm like, I don't remember what the bad kids. I'm pretty sure the main character was Jack. Piggy sucks to your ass, Mar. And then I remember Simon was the messianic martyr at the first one who died. But I don't remember what the leader of the bad kids was.
I can't remember his name either.
It's exactly what you're talking. It's exactly right. Is that I've seen this happen. I experienced this in college with a group of kids, and you see this all the time. It's those same people who grew up being the piggies, being the outcasts, being the kids who get kicked around, who, when they finally get their chance, get some power.
Ralph is the protagonist.
Ralph, and
Jack is the bad kid.
Okay, I was
going to say, like, it sounded wrong.
Ralph's okay. It's like Jack. Is Jack there? Jack might be the bad. Yeah, Jack's the bad. So he's the piggy turned Jack, which is exactly what all these people do. Instead of realizing instead of remembering what it was like to be Piggy, what it was like to be the one who was bullied and ostracized and this and that. The second they have the opportunity, instead of becoming Ralph, they all become Jack. And that's what sets people apart. When you get that power, who do you become? I mean, Lord of the Flies really pares it down to that basic human existence. It's very timeless, and it hits on a lot of stuff that's going on in Hollywood, in the world. You can even take this and look at what's going on and, talk about people who become police officers and abuse their power there. All of this stuff. It's these people who felt disenfranchised, who felt like they were marginalized, who felt like they were oppressed, who now have power, and you have a choice as to whether you want to be a Ralph or a Jack. And the sad reality is most people and a lot of the vocal voices in our society today chose to be Jack. They chose to create more piggies and be a bully and bully more people, even though they know exactly what it costs, even though they know exactly the price for other people in order to do that. And they don't care. They'd rather be vengeful than grateful.
Yep. Sorry, I have to package this box real fast.
No worries. But yeah, so let me pull up this. And you know what, James? Yes, Rian Johnson doesn't. Well, was he Piggy? Rian Johnson, as much as he wants to be the guy in charge, Rian Johnson is still Piggy. He's still a sad, pathetic.
No, he was Piggy. Like he was Piggy his whole life, and then he got some power on the internet, and Piggy went from being a sweet, innocent little boy to a jackass.
But the reality is on the inside, he's still Piggy. And he doesn't know how to reconcile that or deal with that or rise above all of that stuff. And that's why he became a Jack. So that's exactly, he's an ugly dude. Sucks to you. What I'd say to you, Rian Johnson, sucks to your ass, Mark. Sucks to your ass, Mark. All right, so the next, of course, what would Hollywood be? What would the news be? What would the media be if we weren't canceling someone?
Oh, God.
So today, this week, we're canceling Joss Whedon. So this all started out, so Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg in Justice League, this all started with him reneging on. He had posted a picture of him with Joss Whedon, praising Joss Whedon, how great it was to work with him, how awesome he was, all this stuff. And then posted something just yesterday saying, I regret all of this. I take all of it back or whatever. Whoa. So everyone's like, oh, what happened now? Or what? Do we have to pick sides now? Because, of course, this couldn't have lasted. This nice little balance between we can accept that Joss Whedon came in to finish this movie. We may or may not like what he did. We don't have to rag on him for it, because the whole thing is it's the same reason we don't shit on Ron Howard for for Solo. We don't blame Ron Howard for Solo. He came in on a halfway finished project, brought his vision to it, and did the best that he could with something that was already started. Joss Whedon did the same thing for Justice League. So if you look at it, no one blames Joss Whedon for Justice League's failures for the most part, because everyone understands he inherited something that was the ball was already rolling. He inherited this thing to try to do his best. So people weren't ragging on him. They were just excited for the Snyder Cut. There was no bad blood between, Zack Snyder has made it clear the places where their ideologies differed, but the studio wasn't taking, Warner Brothers releasing the Snyder Cut was not them disowning the original version, or it wasn't them, somehow disavowing Joss Whedon's work. It was just that we can have both things, but no, we can't. Because we can't have these nice things today. If we like one thing, that means we have to hate everything else that's not that thing. And that's where this started. But now we'll delve into this article from Mounting into Comics that went into it a little bit deeper, and we'll see if we think there's any credibility to this. I know, just to get a temperature of the room, I know we all have different opinions on Joss Whedon. 1, if you like him; 2, if you hate him; and any other number if you don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. So, Anna, how do you feel about Joss Whedon in general?
Sorry about that. Okay, so here's the thing. He created Buffy, so I'm like, but then I've heard so many terrible things about him. Like Ethan has met him, and Ethan does not like him, and Ethan's told some stories about him. But so let me go onto his IMDb, because I know he created Firefly, correct?
Yes, he did. I love Firefly so much.
It's one of those things where I really try. If somebody's like done, so there's a bunch of artists that I follow right now, and just artists right now currently, if you're working for an animation company or a comic book company, they're huge SJWs, right? And they post some of the stuff that I'm like, oh, it makes me cringe so hard, but their art is fantastic, right? Mm-hmm. And so I really try to separate the art from the artist. And so when I see someone like Joss, and he did the first Avengers movie, correct? Oh, let me turn my camera.
Yeah, first, and I believe he did Age of Ultron as well.
Okay, Age of Ultron. Let's just ignore that movie.
Yes, he did do the first.
My favorite Marvel movie. Well, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I love the first Avengers movie. That's my favorite Avengers movie, because I remember what it was like when that movie came out, and that was before you could reserve, like only special theaters did the reserved seats. I remember going to the theater, and like the entire world was like, we're all watching the Avengers for the first time. It was the greatest thing ever. And it was like this, we're never going to have that again. So I just remember going to the theater and all the lines are wrapping around the buildings and all that. It was like cool going and seeing that movie. And it was such a good movie. I liked it. I really liked the first Avengers movie. I love that movie. And I like Buffy. I haven't seen Firefly yet. I've watched Serenity twice, and I had no idea what was going on. And
dude, oh my God, woman. I
zoned out both times I watched it, because the first time my parents rented it when I was a kid, I didn't know what was going on. Second time I was at my dad's house and he watched it, and I had no idea what was going on, so I just zoned out. But I don't know. I don't know if he's trying to, like, some of the stuff that I've seen that he's done, like how he's a huge like male feminist and things about him. Like, I don't know if you're trying to stay relevant or. And here's another thing with artistic people: we're fucking weird. And I'm like, I don't know if he's just a weird person. I don't know. I got mixed feelings about him, because I'm like, some of the stuff that he does or has done has been great. Other things he's done, I'm like, were you stoned? Like, what was going on, dude? Like, were you just having a bad day when you did this whole entire year-long project? I don't know.
Oh, he also did, don't forget, he did Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
I showed
you that in the celebration. That's him.
Okay, then I think he might just be one of those artistic people that's just fucking weird.
I'm with you on that. I think he's weird. I think he's trying to figure out what his voice is.
Jesse, where is my penis?
Yes.
Wait, and hey, I actually found my hammer the other day. You guys know what? You have to get the joke, but my hammer is my penis.
Oh, these are not the hammer.
Wait, did we watch that before or after Unicorn Store?
The hammer is my penis. I think we watched that after. That's what we watched after Unicorn Store to cleanse our palate. because we hated it so much.
Jesse introduced it to me, and I was like, "This changes my life."
It's so good. I was like, "This is the best line in cinema," and clearly you agree. So
no, because at first she's like pitching it to me, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. I really want to watch this like this episodic like sing along with the doctors and stuff. And she turned it on, and I'm like, all right, this is weird. And then I'm like, I'm listening. Oh my god, this is fantastic.
I know. It's
and
so
I was
great.
trying to be nice. I'm like, I like Jesse. This is a little out there. Like, I'll give it a chance. It was so worth it. You should type it in the chat. Have everyone go watch it.
Yeah, of course. So, guys, if you're not familiar with this product, too, it's got a really cool story. And this was what actually what endeared me to Joss Whedon as a filmmaker, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Okay, so if you haven't heard of this is what endeared me as a filmmaker. And this was when I first learned things about him other than just he made Firefly and he made Buffy in this. But it happened during the writer's strike. There was a big writers. Thank you, Street Racers. So there's a big writer's strike in Hollywood, as the really, really big one that happened when we were when you and I would have been in high school, around that time. And everyone was kind of sitting around. The actors didn't have anything to do. The writers didn't have anything to do while they were striking. The filmmakers didn't have anything to do. So they figured, okay, well, let's just go make something on our own. We'll go make something outside of this, just a fun little project. So he got a bunch of the people, that he knew and worked with together. He got Nathan Fillion. He got Neil Patrick Harris. He got Felicia Day all together to do this ridiculous thing. And it has also what's his face, that guy, and it was in the big one of the guys as part of the core cast of The Big Bang Theory is in it as well.
Neil Patrick Harris.
No, Neil Patrick Harris' sidekick, Moist. He was one of the regulars from The Big Bang Theory. And it was 45 minutes. It was 3 episodes, 15 minutes each, with original music. And it's just brilliant. It's follows Dr. Horrible as he tries to become a supervillain and join the Evil League of Evil. It's Evil League of Evil. It's off the wall. It's crazy, but it's fun. It's superhero. It's campy. It's just brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant. When was Felicia Day on The Rookie? She's I don't remember seeing her on that unless I missed the episode that she was on. But she did show up in she was a regular on Supernatural for a little while. But it's just brilliant. It's just so much fun. And to me, it was such a great thing to do because it didn't step on the toes of the writers. They didn't go hire non-union writers or try to get writers across the picket line for it. They just came together and created it themselves and put it on. Originally, it was online for free for a long time. It was just out there for free for people to watch. And it's just so fun and delightful. And I was like, good for him, getting people together to do something creative and fun. But yeah, I've heard some good things. I've heard some bad things with his wife coming out and talking about his infidelity a few years ago and stuff like that. But for that, I'm like, well, that doesn't give me a great opinion of you as a guy. If we canceled every Hollywood producer, writer, director who cheated on their wives, we wouldn't have Hollywood. The sad reality is that a lot of people do that stuff, and while I don't condone it, it's not the make or break factor for whether I consume your media.
Yeah. If that were the case, nobody would watch Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie movies. They would Meg Ryan, Dennis Quaid. Let's see who else is. So many people have cheated on so many people, and yeah, again, same with Jesse. I don't condone that. And people. And I always try to say this. I'm like, you know what? When somebody's personal romantic relationship, that is completely separate from who they are as an individual. Jesse and Jeff's relationship doesn't change the fact that Jesse is still the person that I knew before she was in a relationship. It doesn't change my friendship with Jesse. Anything that happens between Jesse and Jeff, that's between them. That has nothing to do with me and my friendship with either of them. Unless one of them decides to go crazy and murder people, then that's completely different.
And exactly. And you look at it. I mean, look at any other job. If someone found out that a factory worker had cheated on their spouse, they're not going to fire them over it. If a lawyer cheats on their spouse, they don't lose their position at a law firm over it unless it's somehow.
You're going to have a different opinion of them as far as how you deal with them in certain situations in the future. But I don't think that takes away from your value as a human being. In a romantic relationship sense, yes. But if you have no plans on ever getting romantically involved with someone, That's different, you know?
Exactly. I'm with you on that as well. I think people act like, oh, if you cheat on your spouse, you must be a terrible person. There are a lot of factors that lead to infidelity. And of course, there are better decisions that people should make in those situations. But infidelity is not a, character flaw that means you're just not trustworthy or you're not this or you're not that. People do it for all different kinds of reasons. They're very highly personal. It's the most personal thing in your life, your relationship with your significant other. And, and in my experience, that's never been a reflection of the way people necessarily are in their business dealings or their friendships, etc. So I think we're on the same page about that. All right, so now we've got I saw a lot of, when I asked for the numbers, a lot of general indifference regarding Joss Whedon as a person. Sounds like a lot of us are on a similar page of we've liked some of his stuff, we don't like some of his stuff.
I try to know as little bit about these people as possible.
Exactly. I don't want it to color my opinions.
Like, I honestly do. Like, the only thing that I wish that I would have known what was going on at Lucasfilm before I went and saw The Last Jedi, because I went and saw it, and then, like, I'm just like, I don't know who these people, I don't know shit about who Rian Johnson is. I thought it was just my idea in my head when I was going to watch it, because I was like, I just, I've got so much shit going on in my life. I don't have enough time to pay attention to these other people that are making movies. I just assumed the best person got hired for the fucking job, because that's the most logical thing, especially in a business sense, if you want to make money. I was not expecting the exact opposite. So when I came out, I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then I go and I learn, and I did my first video where I'm venting, or like, I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then I watched an interview with Kathleen Kennedy where she's like, oh yeah, little girls couldn't relate to Luke Skywalker. I'm like, who the fuck is this cunt? Who the fuck is this cunt? And I was like, and then I did my whole video like in defense of Luke Skywalker, and I think that's actually Jeff said that that's the video that he saw of me. That's the one that Jeremy saw. That's the one that everyone kind of saw. That I put that video out, and it catapulted my first video. And because I was like, who the fuck who was smoking what? Who was sleeping with who that let this bitch get in charge? And I didn't know, because I honestly, I try to separate the art from the artist, and in some cases, you can't. Like the whole thing with Brie Larson, everyone's like, Anna, you're giving so much shit to Brie Larson. I'm like, do you not see what this bitch is doing? Do you not see what this bitch is doing? And then I know Jesse had, and the exact opposite, as far as Jesse has a friend that really is a huge fan of Kristen Stewart. I don't care about Kristen Stewart. I don't want to know about her life. I had to deal with enough of that with the whole Twilight fiasco. But apparently, ever since she cheated on Robert Pattinson with the director of the movie, she has done a lot in the independent film industry and has done a lot with her life. Now, I'm going to let the work speak for itself. I don't need to know about her life. If you do a good movie, then you did a good movie. If your acting improved since Twilight, show me. Let the work speak for itself. Brie Larson, her work is a reflection of herself.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So now we get this headline. In light of all of our desires to keep things separate, the media won't let us, because, now we got just trucks carrying freight down the street too. Hooray. Justice League actor Ray Fisher accuses Joss Whedon of abuse. All right, and we're talking about this now, all of a sudden, years after this movie's come out. Justice League actor Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, accused director Joss Whedon of abuse. Fisher made his accusation on Twitter, writing, Joss Whedon's on-set treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. All right.
What did he do? If he told you, so here's the thing. People go and cry wolf. Were they on their phones texting and he said, get the fuck off your phone, stop texting? Because I saw this thing going around how Christopher Nolan doesn't allow chairs on set because if you're sitting, you're not working. And I'm like, you know what? As much as I would hate to be in that environment, if you signed up for his movie and that's who he is as a person, that's how he works, you kind of like, I agree. I know personally, I'm a very tough person to be your boss. And I've been told that because I used to manage a lot of people and, I'm nice, but I'm also a hard ass. If you're not working, I'm going to say something. And so a lot of people don't like working under me. I know that's going to be clipped and taken completely the wrong way. But I mean, what was he telling them? Hey, you're not doing your job. Stop texting. Stop goofing off. Do your fucking job. Or was he actually being an asshole? I need to know the whole context.
You also look at things like The Exorcist, right? The Exorcist. What's his name? Who made that? William Friedkin. William Friedkin. He was legitimately pretty abusive to his actors. He kept the set. He would keep the set at temperatures that were almost too cold to live to get the real, discomfort. He would do things. I think a lot of the stuff that Linda Blair had to do. He would actually like tie her to the bed and things like that. He would purposely do jump scares or bring in scares and stuff that people weren't expecting, that they weren't ready for. He would work them long hours to get that exhaustion, to get these very natural performances. And there's a mixed bag. I mean, a lot of the actors would talk about how utterly miserable it was to work for him, how totally miserable it was to be on set with him, but no one denies that it got the results that it wanted. You know, Linda Blair took a long time to come to terms with everything that happened. And not a lot of that wasn't even necessarily what happened on set too, but just the response she got because people couldn't separate her character from her as the person. But yeah, I mean, there are tons of stories of directors who have
well, Alfred Hitchcock too.
Exactly. And the thing is people were just tougher back then. People didn't go running around, abuse, because there's not someone massaging my feet in between takes. I mean, people are just so soft today. It's pathetic. Does it suck to be on a set like that? Sure it does. I'm sure it absolutely does. But again, the work speaks for itself. So,
well, in the Justice case, it did not, but
oh, well, not in this case. Clearly,
no. So I want to know very specifically, what did he do? What was it? One thing where he told you to get off your fucking phone? Because even Quentin Tarantino, he says no sleeping no sleeping, and you can't have something that has to be charged. Like you can't have a phone, you can't have an iPad. If it has to be like plugged in to charge, you can't have it on set. You can have a book, you can have like a sketchbook, stuff like that. You can write notes, but no sleeping on set, and nothing that it has to be plugged in. And if you do fall asleep on set, he has a giant dildo next to you, and you have to they take a picture of you sleeping next to the giant dildo. And that's your consequence. And you go up on the board with the dildo. But so I need to know. So what does he say?
All right, so let's carry on here. So the rest of that tweet was just, he was enabled in many ways by Jeff Johnson and John Berg. Let's just call out everyone. Let's just not everyone, make it publicly known that I never want to work with any of these people ever again, because you're going to fish your wish, buddy. Accountability is more important than entertainment. Well, that goes for you too, man. If accountability is more important than entertainment, why didn't you walk off the set and expose us when it was happening? Why did you go along with this? Why did you post, he previously posted on Instagram, they like to take a moment to forcefully retract every bit of the statement where he says, I mean, Joss is a great guy and Zach picked a good person to clean up and finish for him. So now I wonder, why were you saying that then? If accountability is more important than entertainment, why did you go along with all of this until now? Until now, where you feel totally comfortable throwing Joss Whedon under the bus, that there will be no consequences for you in your career because it's cool. It's the it thing to do. Oh, I'm a black actor calling out a white filmmaker. You can't touch me. That's the attitude here. So if you really believe accountability is greater than entertainment, you should have said something before now. So, okay.
Does he even say what he did? Or is it just calling it? Because that's a really big problem with the cancel culture. It's guilty until proven innocent. And even once you prove yourself innocent, they deny the facts and they say you're still guilty. Okay. And the things that I have seen, especially like from hearing Ethan's stories where he like directly interacted with him, like I'm more inclined to say, yeah, this dude might be a bit of a weirdo. But I want to know, what did he do?
We have this article goes on about his wife's talking about hypocrite preaching feminist ideals. Okay, your wife that you split up with.
Well, that is a lot of the times all these male feminists, they are the biggest hypocrites.
Oh, I agree 100%.
We defend women. Oh yeah. Also, we have like all of these rape allegations against us.
Exactly. So it's. Oh, God, I'm just trying to figure out. So Jeff brought me wonderful popsicles. I'm trying to figure out some place to put them.
Nice.
Well, come on, hold it all at once.
Try harder.
So, and I mean, this is the point he talks about his affairs. When I was running Buffy, I was surrounded by beautiful, needy, aggressive young women. I felt like I had a disease, like something from a Greek myth. Suddenly, I'm a powerful producer, and the world is laid out at my feet, and I can't touch it. And that's, it's something people have to contend with, and not everyone makes the right choice when fame is suddenly thrust upon them, and obviously he didn't. And to explain it that way, you understand why these people do these things. It doesn't excuse the behavior, it doesn't justify the behavior. But most of this rest of this piece, we're talking about the ex-wife, throwing him under this. It doesn't, as a character witness, is just as we talked about. What goes upon happens in your bedroom and your relationship is not necessarily a bearing of who you are as a person. And one of the women know that he's not who he pretends to be. Honor man does not practice what he preaches. Okay. But again, unless I'm getting into bed with Joss Whedon, I'm a lot more concerned about what he's putting on screen than what he's doing in his private life.
Here's the thing. It's like, did he murder someone? Is he raping women or molesting children or stealing? Like what is if he's laundering money? I'm just like, doesn't everyone in Hollywood do that at some point? I feel like that's just a stick with Hollywood. If he's molesting children, put him in fucking jail. If he's raping women, put him in fucking jail. If he's stealing, put him in jail. If him and his wife weren't happy and he cheated on her, he's a fucked up human being. He should have broken up with her and then pursued another relationship with another woman instead of stringing someone along. I want to know. I don't understand this whole I'll give you any information. It's dumb.
Once again, he's sitting here with this hypocrisy. Accountability is more important than entertainment. Okay, if the accountability is so important, tell us more than you just mudslinging because you're mad about something.
Now, you need to give me very specific reasons before I'm going to back up this claim.
Exactly.
If you're just saying, oh, he did this, but you're not giving me any it's like in a way, it's like selling me a product. It's like, if you don't tell me what it is, or like, especially like when they come out with like a new vaccination, I'm not going to inject this stuff into my body until I know what's in it, how it works, and all the details of it. You wouldn't expect anyone else to do anything differently, right? So you need to give me the details of what happened. Because did he say anything, elaborating anything on how he was abusive?
Nope. The furthest thing we got is that he insinuates that it's Jeff Johns who was responsible for bringing Joss Whedon on, not Zack Snyder, and Grace Randolph reported that. We already knew that.
We knew that.
Grace Randolph blew that one out of the water. And oh my God, who fucking cares who brought Joss Whedon on? Zack Snyder was dealing with stuff. It's a very serious personal matter. And it's like, who cares if he's the one who named his predecessor or not? Or his successor, rather, his successor.
No, at that point, he's just like, I got to go by, you know?
I got to go deal with this shit.
When I was dealing with my, personal stuff, I specifically asked Jesse and Jeremy. Those are the two people that I asked. I said, hey, I'm going to be offline for a minute. Can you guys, if anything happens, you guys are the only ones I'm really talking to directly about what I'm dealing with in my life. Anything happens, do you guys mind handling it for me? And I hate asking people for help. I hate asking people to handle my own stuff for me. But I trust Jeremy and Jesse enough to do that. And they did it for me because they were my friends. In that kind of situation, and that's me not working for $1 billion corporation and working on, a multi-million-dollar movie. Zack Snyder had to go deal with stuff in real life, and I don't think he was even in the position to appoint his predecessor. I think the company goes through, he's like, hey, I had to take a personal leave in absence for this family emergency, and then they have to pick the next best person. I don't, honestly, because then they could sue him if he said, hey, I want this person to take over for me. And then the person does a bad job, because then the company, not only, then for himself, that's not a good idea for him, because then he could be liable for all of that if the movie failed and the company went after him to blame the failure of the movie or any money that was lost on his decision. So just looking at a legal aspect of it, that would be the stupidest idea in the world. If that was my thing, I would say these are the people that I would recommend, that I would trust, and have it written down, have a lawyer look at it, and then say these are the ones that I trust. And if I'm, maybe he's not available to talk at that time, but here are my notes. Here is my plan for it. These are the people that I trust, that I worked closely with, that they can take over for me because I have to go deal with this and, work from there. But at the end of the day, it's the studio, and legally it's the studio's obligation, not Zack Snyder.
Exactly. Let me hit a couple super chats. I did find that producer John Berg responds to Ray Fisher's accusation of abuse on set. So I'd love to go through that. Do you want to catch a few super chats real quick? We had Loquacious Primate says, the woodpeckers at my house have gotten out of control.
Woodpeckers? I've never seen a real one. I've never seen one in real life.
They look. Did you ever see? Do you know what you call it? Oh yeah, you know the Fox and the Hound. Mm-hmm. You know what that woodpecker, the crazy woodpecker, looks like in that? They kind of look like that in real life.
I know I've seen pictures of them, but I've never seen one in real life.
Oh, we used to get them in my house sometimes. They're cute. They're fun because they're like kind of big.
I've never seen fireflies in real life either.
No, my God, you have to come to the East Coast with me sometime and see fireflies.
I don't want to go to the East Coast, but maybe I will.
Hey, Philly's nice. We'll go to Philly. You like meat and cheese and bread, right?
I do, yes.
You can get cheesesteaks. It's perfect. You'll love Philly because you can get sandwiches, cheesesteaks. It's all the kind of, there's tons of food that you like there. You'll enjoy it. But he says, so they're out of control at my house, loudly pecking at the gutters like freaking drills. Any recommendations? Get a cat.
Seeds out for them.
Yeah, actually, that might be a thing. There are special like woodpecker feeders. If you get like a feeder for them, or like a thing like they make like woodpecker nests, specifically designed for like birdhouses and stuff like that. But yeah, they're usually pecking, looking for birds and insects and stuff like that, or birds. They're looking for insects and worms and stuff like that. So yeah, if you put out a feeder designed for woodpeckers, maybe that'll help. That's my best offer. We got Cameron Scott who says, "Dear Matriarchy, please accept my humble sale of indulgence. In case I'm ever famous, I apologize for everything." Noted, Cameron Scott. When I'm famous, I'm gonna pull a Rian Johnson and say, "Fuck you." No, I'm not gonna do that.
If I'm ever famous, I'm gonna fucking hug a koala bear, and no one will stop me.
I've petted one before.
I see them all the time. I love the Irwin family. I've ever since I was a little kid, I loved watching The Crocodile Hunter. Aww. And so I just see them all the time. They're posting on Instagram, they're posting on Twitter, they're all there holding their koala bears and they're hugging them. And I'm like, can I hug a koala? That's if
just go to Queensland.
I know. I want
to here and they'll let you. I'll go with you. I want to go to Queensland. I went to Sydney.
Come with me. I wanted to go this year, but because of all the fires, I was told maybe wait another year. And so maybe next year I want to go for my birthday.
Oh, that would be so cool. Oh my God.
2 year and a half notice. There you go.
All right, I'm coming with you. No, yeah, we unfortunately the Blue Mountains and out with the Featherdale Wildlife Park is where we saw that all that burned down in the fires. It was really sad. They were able to move and save all the animals from the wildlife park, but it was just it's really sad. A lot of beautiful wilderness out there got destroyed. So we also have from K Stadium 42. Thank you for the super chat. Send a $10 super chat, no message. Rock on, K Stadium 42. Jeffrey Turner, aka Megajetty1, says, same with Charlotte Lewis. People misconstrued her relationship with Roman Polanski on Pirates. Next, she'll be canceled for Yellowface in The Golden Child. Yep. Any reason to cancel someone, we'll cancel them. And Jeffrey Turner,
I like Roman Polanski movies. I like his film noir. I really like Chinatown.
Oh, dude, I freaking love Chinatown. Again, that's another situation. I don't condone his behavior in his personal life, but I'm not going to disavow his films. Chinatown is...
And honestly, with him, he's got to be fucked up in the head after what happened to his wife and, baby. So it's like, with stuff like that, I'm just like, that changes you as a human. And so when I see stuff with Roman Polanski, I'm like, you know what? He needs some serious help, and he doesn't, maybe like some people don't, like I'm not a therapy person. I don't go to therapy, even though I was advised to after what happened. I don't feel comfortable doing something like that. But when you have something that traumatic happen to you, and it changes you as a person, especially to the extent that he did.
Yeah.
When I see stuff like that, I'm like, I just see it's something as somebody doesn't know how to deal with their personal issues, and they're, something you usually deal with when you're a teenager is when you lash out and do bad stuff. But with him, with stuff like that, I'm like, this is somebody that needs help, but just won't seek it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't forgive the things he's done.
No excuse, Anna. Well, I don't know what he did. So that's
he had an inappropriate relationship with an underage person.
Oh, okay. So that's different. That's a bit different. Was it a consensual thing?
I don't remember. I think it's sort of 10 years, but she was young. I think she was like 12 or something like that.
Oh,
it's bad.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Then no, that's different.
I
didn't know that.
Oh no, because he did there's a lot of allegations.
I did not know that.
He had a lot of allegations like sexual harassment on set and all that stuff with women and whatnot. But no, he did have a 13-year-old. He had he apparently drugged her too. I didn't. Yeah.
That's completely different. That guy. Okay, then that again. That may be even a psychiatric hospital stay, and okay, that's very different. I did not know that. This is why context matters.
Context is important. I
did not know that.
But at the same time, I'm like, at the same time, there is the line of like,
it just gets worse. Yeah. Yes, and that's why the whole thing with the Joss Whedon thing. Tell me the fucking context, because I can be a very understanding person. If you don't tell me the whole story, it's like, okay, it doesn't sound as bad. But when you tell me that, I'm like, no, that's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he did really inexcusable. It's inexcusable. And like even Tarantino came under fire for defending him in the first initially and stuff like that. No, but at the same time, but for me, it's like I will not excuse anything he did. I will not make any excuses for him as a dude, but I'm still not going to
Google this.
I'm still not going to disavow his films. I'm not going to do that. I just don't think it makes sense. The work speaks for itself. It's there. I've seen it already. I'm like, I'll never watch Chinatown again, or I'll never recommend any Polanski movie because of the shit he did. It's the same thing. Like what Woody Allen did, I think, is so gross.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I hate Woody Allen. I did not think Annie Hall deserved to win the Oscar over Star Wars. That movie is shit. It's literally just them bitching at each other for 2 fucking hours. I don't care. Annie, run for the fucking hills, because he's a pain in the ass. You're a pain in the fucking ass too. You guys don't belong together. That was the worst fucking. I was sitting there and I'm like, I hate. Like, I just.
The only scene, I think the only thing that even made me laugh was the lobster scene. But yeah, no, the rest of it was droll. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it in the context.
He likes to make you so uncomfortable. All of his movie. Okay, the only movie I like of his is Ants.
Did you see Midnight in Paris?
I fucking hate that movie.
Really?
It was one of the way. So my ex-boyfriend was very passive aggressive, and his way of he told me, he's like, "Oh, Rachel McAdams in this movie reminds me of you." And at first I was like, "Oh, like my think of Rachel McAdams." I'm like, "Oh, you're the girl from The Notebook." I was like, "Oh, that's sweet." I watched the movie after we broke up, and I was like, "You fucking asshole." Because it's literally a chick that bitches at the husband the whole fucking time. Then she finds out that she was cheating on him, and he just it's one. I understood the whole thing that, oh, you always want to go back into the past because you think it's better back then, and then the people from the past, it was better back before, and so it's like you're always reaching for something that you can't get. I understood that concept of it, and then him finding the girl at the end that likes to walk in the rain at Paris. I'm like, all right, but in my head, in my movie, I just remember my ex telling me that, and then like a week later we broke up, and I was like, fuck you. That was like his way of being passive aggressive and asshole, which is why breakups are good. Sometimes
they're healthy.
It goes outside your life. But let me see this. It says in March 1977, the 43-year-old film director Roman Polanski was arrested charged in Los Angeles with 5 offenses against Samantha Gremer, a 13-year-old girl, rape by use of drugs, perversion, sodomy, lewd, lascivious acts upon a child under 14, and furnishing controlled substance to a minor. This is one thing I do want to know. Was it like a girl that looked older and she was down to do the drugs and she was lying about her age? Because you remember Animal House?
She wasn't like lying about her age. I'm pretty sure he knew how old she was. There was a lot of reports that it was somewhat consensual, but it was like cocaine. Like he was giving her cocaine and stuff.
Okay. But do you remember Animal House? How the girl, you know what?
I still haven't seen Animal House.
You never saw Animal House? Okay. How have you never seen Animal House? I watched it when I was a kid. I watched it when I was a kid. That's how my parents were like, you can watch whatever the fuck you want. We don't care. I watched Animal House when I was a kid, and I remember one of the it's not spoiling it, but one of the guys hits on this girl, and she's very young, but she looks like she's older. And then at one point she comes to a party and she gets drunk. She's obviously not 21. And they go to make out, and then he like takes off her bra, and it's like all padded and stuff. She still has like boobs, but she was making them look like they were bigger. And he realizes, oh, she's like 14. But then at the end of the movie, they want to get married, but it's like, she's still 14.
The chat is.
She says like to her parents, she's like, yeah, this is the guy that molested me.
Oh God.
The dad's like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy.
The chat is filling in the blanks. Apparently, her mom left her alone with him. Her mom basically, it was one of these things like with the parents who left all their kids alone with Michael Jackson. She was pimping her daughter out to try to get something and all that. So it was, the girl was maybe she was willing, maybe she wasn't, but she was way too young to be able to make that decision for herself. She wasn't making the decision for herself. She was put in that situation. Yeah, so there
was a lot of stuff in that, and I'm just gonna say it's wrong. It was bad. I just
very bad. So more of the details. So let's take I did want to take a look at this article just came out about John Berg responding to these allegations. So as we know, context is everything. As we're just discovering, context is everything. Knowing or not, what you do or don't know will very much color the way you look at a situation. So you have things like this. This has been a week that's seen stories surrounding Joss Whedon's time as the fill-in director of Warner Bros. Justice League gets more interesting, blah, blah, blah. What started as a simple rescinding of support given to the director by one of the film's stars, Ray Fisher, had quickly turned into allegations of gross, abusive, unprofessional, completely unacceptable behavior being displayed on the set of the 2017 would-be blockbuster. And now those allegations have been soundly denied by one of the two alleged enablers of such behavior, producer John Berg. Responding to Ray Fisher...
Kevin Bacon.
Responding to Ray Fisher's accusations. What's up?
I love Kevin Bacon. Is that Kevin Bacon?
Where?
Ah, right there, the little ad.
The ad? Yeah, it, like it. It does look like it.
He was such a hunk. And Footloose, my favorite line is he's in the bathroom and he's like fixing his hair and he's got this tie on and the mom's like, "You look like Bowie," and I was like, "Yes."
I am gonna get rid of Kevin Bacon though, so we can see things.
No. Okay, it was distracting me.
Exactly. Can't have that. Responding to Ray Fisher's accusations, Berg stated to Variety that the claims of malfeasance on the Justice League set were categorically untrue, dispelling those rumors in a fashion he felt was satisfactory. John Berg then went on to discuss one particular clash that Fisher had with one particular request made to the actor during Justice League's production. I want to stop right there. Already this article, you said, dispelling those rumors in a fashion he felt was satisfactory. I'm sorry, well, what about the rumors in the first place? So far, Ray Fisher has just made some unfounded, unsubstantiated claims. He hasn't even given us any details about this. So before you want to sit here and take sides, I want to know a little more. So he talks about this. He says, I remember Fisher being upset that we wanted him to say booyah, which is a well-known saying of Cyborg in the animated series. Right there. That tells me everything I need to know about Ray Fisher as a person. The fact that he doesn't want to say this catchphrase because it's stupid. I'm sorry, but like, get over yourself. This is not about your personal opinions. This is not about, whether you like or don't like whatchamacallit. I'm sorry, my favorite other just said. It's not whether you like or not like the line or the character. You have been hired to bring this character to life, and to not want to say his catchphrase just reeks of disrespect to me. But anyway, so we have at this moment there's been no response to requests for comment from Warner Brothers representatives, and Joss Whedon has its time no comment. But already, fans and spectators alike have to wonder what the exact circumstances of these Justice League bombshells entail. Depending on who you ask, this couldn't come at a better or worse time in the news cycle for that particular film. Because of the Snyder Cut, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if there's any actual information, or are you just writing more conjecture? More conjecture. Cool. So,
somebody photoshopped cum all over Brie Larson's face.
Cool.
I want to share this with you 1 second because I just saw it and I'm like, why was I tagged in this? I just wanted to share that with everyone because I got tagged in it and I was like, why is my phone going off? And then I saw that, and because I had to see it, all of you guys had to too. Well, but, okay, I understand you're gonna play this character and you're not gonna say their catchphrase,
right? Like, what is wrong with you?
Then don't play the fucking character. Give it to somebody that actually cares.
That's like someone getting cast for Batman and saying, "I'm not gonna work out to play this buff super." Oh, wait.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Oh wait. I was thinking a little more about that too, about the Bat thing, and I was like, you know what? Not only was that so disrespectful to the art of filmmaking, but just think about I always keep forgetting what's her face who's playing Selena Kyle for the new movie.
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz. I'm like, it's so disrespectful to Zoe Kravitz, and it reeks of sexism too, to sit there after Zoe Kravitz comes out and talks about her having put on the weight and being encouraged by the studios to use this, the personal trainers and to get fit and all, and posting her pictures and her stuff about busting her ass to get in shape, and for him to just be high and mighty and be like, oh, you're part of the problem. Excuse me. Like, I'm sorry, excuse you.
I've always been insecure ever since Twilight and what's his face got super buff.
So Taylor Lautner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but like, you look at, I was watching Empire of Dreams over the weekend, and Carrie Fisher touches on how much those comments affected her when people were telling her to lose weight when she was already thin as a rail,
they wanted her to lose it in her cheek. Like, she talks about it in A New Hope that they sent her to a fat farm before every movie.
Yeah.
And they wanted her to lose it from her face.
And it was, Exactly. And she talks about how these lasting, damaging effects. And that's the legacy of women's image in film for a long time. And sure, there's body positivity issues for men as well. I'm not discounting that, but it's always been a lot rougher on the women. And so to sit there and basically it's a fuck you. It's like, oh yeah, haha, Zoe Kravitz, you got to work out. You're just part of the problem. Pandering Hollywood, I'm too good, meanwhile, to work out.
Is that she's very, even her mother, they're very like slenderly built women. You know, I think it would be very difficult for her to gain a lot of weight, but I can understand she wants to get toned. She wants to get in shape kind of thing. Because she's always been very thin. But I'm looking at the picture of her and I'm like, holy fuck, I want to give her a sandwich. Let me share my screen with you real fast. Here you go. So this is her on Instagram. So her boobs shrunk. That's one thing. I'm not people are going to call me a fucking lesbian for this, but I mean, that was her whole selling point in Fantastic Beasts 2, was that like she has like the most low cut dress and it's all like showing off her cleavage. And I'm just like, what happened to her boobs? They deflated. And that happens a lot of the times when you do start working out and you lose a lot of weight. Sure. She was already skinny before, and now it's like I can see her bones.
Yeah, it's pretty. But that's one of the things, like, when you look at that, for him to sit there and just call her out as, like, you're part of the problem, to see these pictures and be like, yeah, she probably lost too much weight. I'm sorry, but you're not helping anything. In fact, you're just, you, Robert Pattinson, are part of the problem if you're just going to sit on your lazy ass and call people out for working out too much. Why not be an ally? Why not speak up about body positivity? Why not speak up about how you hope she doesn't feel like she has to lose weight for the role or something like that? Support your fucking co-star instead of fucking calling her out for trying to do something for the role while you're sitting on your lazy ass eating potato chips because you can't be bothered to use the goddamn Bosu ball that the studio gave you to use. It's just freaking stupid.
Well, because you can even go look at Zoe in Divergent. Like she wasn't fat. She wasn't like, she didn't look unhealthy. She actually looked very healthy as compared to now. This isn't from Divergent. I'm trying to go through, but like, look, I want to feed her. She does look a lot like her mother in this because her mom is like super, super skinny. Like her face, like her eyes are more her father, but like her obviously her body, like her body type is her mother. But I'm like, she's lost so much weight, and I want to feed her. I want to feed her so bad.
We were looking at that, too, because Jeff and I have been going through Burn Notice, and Gabrielle Anwar finally, in the 6th season of a 7-season show, finally puts on enough weight that she looks like she doesn't need, a pizza.
Well, Zoe, she was really healthy looking in Divergent, and then wasn't she in Hunger Games, too? No, her dad was in Hunger Games, but she was in another movie. Oh, even in Fantastic Beasts, she doesn't look super, super skinny. She looks healthy. Yeah. She's still skinny. Like she's on she probably fits in like a 1 size pants. Like she's very tiny and she already is petite, but she didn't look like I want to feed her. Like she needs a sandwich. She needs a burger.
Yeah, burger.
So go to McDonald's. Go to McDonald's. I want to feed you.
All right, let me hit some of these super chats because I did have one. I did see the should we talk about Rumble? Jeffrey Turner also says, hey Anna, nice X-Men t-shirt, Jim Lee 90s X-Men #1. So nice shirt, Anna.
Target. Yeah, did you know that Target actually brings in more income for their t-shirts for Marvel, or excuse me, for Marvel and DC Comics than the comic books actually bring in for them?
I'm not surprised at this point. They do make some decent designs. And then we had Mark C say, Anna, when you go to Philly and order your first cheesesteak, it's I want a cheesesteak whiz whip. Okay, look, unless Anna already likes Cheese Whiz, I ain't putting her through that. So, do you like cheese sauce?
No.
Okay, then you're getting American Whip.
What's that?
Just American cheese. And oh wait, you don't like onions, though, do you?
Mm-mm.
All right, so you're just getting American. When you order
like Swiss cheese, because I don't like having American cheese on sandwiches.
You can't have Swiss cheese on a cheesesteak. How about provolone?
Yeah, provolone.
Okay, you can have provolone without. So that's acceptable. Provolone without is acceptable.
Look, homegirl works out. Look, but even here in her face, oh, this is from Big Little Lies. Oh, yeah, she's in that show. But, like, look, even in her face, she's got, like, a little bit more there. They've been having her. But look, she's working out, and she doesn't look unhealthy. Robert Pattinson, if she's doing it, take a cue from the Whammon.
Exactly.
Fucking gym, you lazy motherfucker.
Especially if you like look at her midsection in that one, like it was toned. It wasn't like it was. You could see musculature
If
there.
you're gonna be fucking Batman, you gotta be Batman. Batman. How do you expect Batman to be on par with other superheroes that have powers if he doesn't work out? God, my tongue is disgusting like this. This is what happens when you drink the strawberry pineapple one. It turns your tongue yellow.
I only have a little bit from my popsicles. But but yeah, now that's provolone without is acceptable. I'll allow it. When we go to Philly, we also had the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey says, "Where's BLM for Mecky James, Lena Nunez, and Sincere Gaston? Why aren't they out protesting for them?" I don't know the full stories on them, but I'm assuming this is just more hypocrisy where there are other, Black people who have gone through their own struggles, and we're not running around, standing up for them probably because they don't fit the narrative. They don't fit the.
I wanted to share something with you too. I know I'm just sharing a lot of things with you.
That's fine. We're having fun. Ben Franklin laughing his ass off. Come here and get me, bitches. Yes. Oh my
I just
God.
want everyone to know if I ever have a statue made of myself because I discover like electricity or something, because if the whole world like forgets about it and I discover it like Ben Franklin, I want my statue on the top of a building so protesters can't tear my stuff down. I just want to say that.
That these Ben Franklin statues will never get torn down. They will not protest against them because what is the most important thing in Philly? Not basic human rights, not basic human decency, fucking sports. Sports. We live and die by our sports team, in sports teams in Philly. And there have been these long-held, it's the curse. So there's a gentleman's agreement in Philadelphia that nothing should be built higher than the top of Ben Franklin's hat. So he sits at the top of City Hall, and nothing shall be built higher than the tip of his hat. And in the 80s, they built One Liberty Place, their first skyscraper. And since then, from that day until 2008, no Philly sports team had ever won a championship. Fast forward to 2008, Comcast is building the new tallest building in the city. And what did they do when it was completed? They took a little 6-inch, just as a nod to the curse. They took a little 6-inch statue of Benny and stuck him on top. And that year, the Phillies won the World Series. Fast forward 2017, right? The Eagles are having this miraculous run in Carson Wentz's second season. They're doing amazingly, and Comcast is building another building taller than the last one. And the ironworkers even petitioned to put the top crossbeams up ahead of schedule so they could put Benny Franklin back on top of the city so we could win the Super Bowl. So I'm sitting there at the game in LA where Wentz tears his ACL going, but they appeased the curse. We have to win. How? And Nick Foles, Big Dick Nick, comes in, saves the day, and we win the Super Bowl that year. So that shit is real, and that's why you will never topple Benny, not in the city of Philadelphia. Anyway, I rest my case. Oh, God. What else do we have? Jeffrey Drake Vegas 81 says, eating mint ice cream while watching Harlem Nights.
Oh, I hate mint ice cream.
I love mint ice cream. Mint chocolate chip. Oh, I'm all about that. And then we also have, it sounds like, I've never watched Harlem Nights, but it sounds like a good time.
Never even heard of it.
We also have Overlady Viking says, if Trump starts wearing a mask, do you think people who hate Trump will stop wearing a mask?
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past society at this point. That's kind of where we are. At that point. Anyway, I love it. Foles, Big Dick Nick. I got my Philly representing here. I love it. But anyway, thank you.
I don't know anything about American football. So
I don't understand the sports ball theme, but she seems excited. She is excited.
I know. I was like, I didn't expect you to get all excited. So that was the perfect meme to show you.
It was. It really was. Because that's people don't
I just thought it was funny. I saw that and I was like, oh my fucking God. Because so in San Francisco, so there's the Young Museum and the Academy of Sciences, and there's a statue, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful because it's right next to this whole art building. But so there's this big monument to President Grant, right? And that's one of the men that fought for the North to free slavery. He was very much against slavery, and he fought for to unite the country and to end slavery, and he became the president later on. And they tore his fucking statue down. I'm like, are you guys fucking retarded? And that's offensive to people that actually have mental retardation, because I'm just like, how? Like, what? I don't understand. Why would you tear down a statue of a man that fought against slavery and racism, the thing that you guys are fighting for? I don't understand, but they tore down the statue, and it was a big, beautiful, like because there's all these columns and then the statues up there, and they tore it down. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
War, and they don't know shit. They're so fucking stupid and uneducated. This, by the way, is why the founding fathers fought to have an educated electorate, because they understood the dangers of allowing stupid people the opportunity to have direct democracy. No, sorry, if you don't fucking read, if you don't fucking understand history, you don't deserve the fucking right to vote. You don't deserve to have a say and have control in the future of this country if you're too goddamn ignorant to pick up a book every once in a while.
Let me see if I can find pictures of it, because as I lived in San Francisco for 5 years. I have a lot of friends that still live there, so they were posting pictures of it, and all of them were like, "What the fuck is wrong with these people?" And then everyone, because there's like a community post, and they're like, "Does anyone recognize any of these people?" And they're like, "No." Let me find it.
Someone says that's why they're dumbing down the schools. It all happens. These are all these domino effects, right? It starts with No Child Left Behind, where instead of a program, instead of implementing that, so we bring every child up to speed, we slow everyone else down to that speed, and then we move into a more liberal area, and so suddenly colleges are not allowed to teach, are not allowed to foster discussions anymore. Now everyone feels emboldened under Obama to say, "Oh, the liberal agenda, the progressive agenda." Now students feel the need, feel entitled to tell teachers what they can and can't teach and what they can and can't talk about. And so now any college professor that doesn't get in line gets booted out the door. They get fired for clashing with students over their ideologies. They get fired for not jumping on board with the next gender trend or whatever the hell is going on campuses these days. "Oh, I misgendered my student, now I don't have a job anymore." Or like these two I can't remember their names, but the two incredibly educated people who were very liberal, and they stood against. They were professors on a college campus that decided they were going to have a male-free day. We want women to know what it's like to come to campus and not have to worry about the threat of any men. And they stood against it. They said, "This is wrong."
Okay, I'm going to say something right now. Okay, out of 100 guys, maybe one or two of them you really have to worry about. When you have to deal with girls, 100 girls,
all bitches.
it's like 80% of those bitches you got to worry about.
Bitches are sneaky. Guys, it's like,
they will backstab you. They will sabotage you.
Oh, yeah.
99.9% of the bad things that have happened to me have been because of a woman.
Oh,
and that's outside of romantic relationships. In real life, like one of my job, like actually basically every work problem I've ever had has been between women, because women are jealous cunts, and I don't like work. Honestly, as a woman, I don't like working with other women. They cause too many problems. They're jealous. They're catty. They will sabotage you. They will stab you in the back. They will lie. They don't care. When you're with a man, guess what? There is no drama.
And you can't go grab a beer with them because they're too busy worrying about calories and carbs. Like, shut up, chill out.
I was so relieved because at first I was like, Jessie seems really cool. Like, I saw her videos. I'm like, she seems really cool. Let me message her on Facebook, see if she wants to collab. And I was like, I hope she's not a catty bitch. I hope she's not a catty bitch. I hope she's not a catty bitch.
I had I had the exact same concerns. I'm like, oh, look, here's this like really pretty, nice like chick who's so sweet and all that. But is she gonna be one of those people who like looks down on me because I'm not as girly? That looks down on me because I don't look a certain way or act a certain way and shit like that. I had the same concerns because we've been burned. Because how many times have we had experiences with women who treat us a certain way just because of the way we look, the way we act, because they're jealous of something, because they don't like something about us, and it's never as straightforward as just a guy doesn't like you. They just go their own way. They don't sit there dogging your shadow.
They don't really talk to you. Well, okay, depending on if you're in a work environment and they are actually professional. That's why I said, usually it's like out of 100 guys, you got to worry about like one or two of them as far as like being creepers. As far as like being assholes, yeah, but guess what, there's men and women are both assholes. They just go about being assholes differently,
and I'd much rather tolerate to deal with men because it's just more straightforward. It's so much more straightforward. Yeah.
But so do you remember that because I have these pictures that I forgot, I wanted to share it with you though. So do you remember those pictures that were going around and it was trending on Twitter, Mr. and Mrs. Smith like too, and how it was like the woman and the man and they had the gun in front of their house?
The Mr. and Mrs. Smith let themselves go and all that shit.
Yeah. Okay, so I found somebody went into the research and found the actual context of it. So obviously it's a very wealthy couple, and they were defending their home because people were trying to they broke down their gate and they were trying to loot their house. So do you want to share my screen?
Sure, yeah.
So the Mr. and Mrs. Smith too that let themselves go, very well off middle-aged and later couple, and this is their house. People broke through their gate and were trying to loot their house. So like that's the property. Oh, is it not? So this is the property line. What, can I not go to next? Can I not go next? No, I didn't share the right one. Okay, hold on. So let me get all the images. For whatever reason, it only opened the one image. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here we are. So this is their house. Like, this is their house, and then that's the lady. She had a gun. Her husband had a gun, and these are some of the people that were coming to their house to break. They broke down their gate. They came onto private property, and they were trying to loot these people's home, and they had signs and stuff. And that's the thing. It's like, if somebody comes onto my property, like, I remember that even when I lived on the ranch, and
dude,
we had dogs. First off, we had fucking dogs, so people wouldn't. But it's like, my dad had guns, my dad had swords. If you come onto like our property, like, we're gonna defend themselves. And they did. Nobody looted their house because they were standing in front of their house with their guns and like, do not come in our fucking house. Yeah, six-figure income at least. Those people have been wealthy their entire life. But it's something like that where I saw that and I was like, oh yeah. The context behind it, because at first when you see their house, it looks like they're standing in front of like a government building, not their house,
right? And even that, like, the first story I saw about it was like, the first thing that I had to see was, oh, they were just walking by and these guys came up brandishing guns. And sure, if there's protesters walking on the sidewalk past your house and you're coming out waving guns around, fuck you, you're an asshole. But if they're on private property, all bets are off. And that's, I even read something too about like people storming a gated community, doing the same thing and being and everyone boasting, oh, these guys with their guns and this stuff. It's a gated community. If you go onto private property, you are trespassing. Your rights do not cover people's private land and whatnot. It could be a dirt farm. Exactly. It could be a fucking empty lot that someone owns and you don't have the right. Your government rights do not apply there. That's a very important part of our Constitution that everyone seems to forget, is your rights stop where mine begin. And guess what? My rights on my private property are all encompassing. You step onto my private property, you are on my territory, and you play by my rules. Your government protections do not apply here. And in many states, I don't know what state this was in, but in many states, I absolutely have the right to shoot you dead if you're standing on my property and you refuse to leave when I ask you to. So it's just the ridiculous. I saw the same thing on the other side of it, because again, it's both sides. People are just it's the entitlement. It's the entitlement on both sides. Because I saw in our neighborhood, Hugo's Tacos, which is one of my favorite taco places, probably my favorite taco place in LA. They closed down because they had people coming on. They posted signs that said you have to wear a mask, which, by the way, is the law in California, in Los Angeles County right now. It's not even just like the businesses enforcing that. In Los Angeles County, you are supposed to wear a mask and have you come in contact with others inside or outside. And they, on private property at signposts, is saying, look, we policy you to wear a mask. And they closed down because they were sick of fighting with people. They said there were people throwing things at their employees, throwing liquids at their employees, swearing at their employees, and refusing to obey the policy. And everyone gets up and, you don't have the right to make me wear a mask. You don't have the right. Guess what? It's a private business. They do. When you see a sign that says no shirt, no shoes, no service, do you walk into your bare feet and your chest hanging out and expect to be served? Do you have a cow on Twitter because they denied you service when you violated their policy? No. If you don't like the policy, don't patronize the business. But you don't have the right. People don't understand that private citizens, private businesses, your constitutional rights do not apply. You don't have the right to trespass on people's private property, vandalize people's private homes or businesses. You don't have the right to, and no matter how you feel about coronavirus or mask wearing or not, if a private business says you have to wear a mask, you have to wear a fucking mask. You have no grounds of your personal freedoms to stand on there. Just don't patronize the business. You don't get out. That's people. They want to have their cake and eat it too. That's how everybody wants it. They want to trespass and then blow up Ken and Karen for defending their property. They don't want to wear a mask, but they still want their tacos. Order fucking takeout or something.
Well, yeah, that's like going up to a taco truck. So I went out and I had so many errands to run yesterday. I went to the post office. I had to go to Michael's. I had to go to FedEx, and I had to go to the grocery store. I wore a mask at all the places because I didn't do my makeup, and I was like, this is. I'm fine with wearing my mask because I'm like, I don't have to fucking put my face on. I like this, and I don't get shamed for it. I'm just like, lazy is for me. I'm fine with it. I will wear it if you don't want one. Just, yeah. And I actually like the social distancing because I have a bubble. And I'm a very small person, so my bubble, it's like just around me. I'm like, stay the fuck. If you're in my arm's reach, stay the fuck away from me. Unless we're looking at the same thing on the same shelf and you need to like politely reach in front of me to grab it, that's fine. Stay the fuck out of my bubble. Stay the fuck out of my bubble, So I'm down with it. I'm fine with it. I thought social distancing was a common fucking sense thing. Apparently it's not. Apparently washing your hands, you need instructions for that as an adult, whatever. Yeah. But so when I went to all those places yesterday, at the post office, there were people there that weren't wearing masks. All the workers were there. Everyone, it's kind of that thing. It's like, if you want to wear it, enter at your own risk. If you want to wear it, fine. If you don't want to wear it, fine. The only place that they said that you had to, at grocery stores, they have a sign in front that says you need to wear a mask. And I understand because there's food. That I'm like, all right, that's fine. And then, I went to Daiso too because I needed to get nail polish for my toes. I need to get nail polish for my toes. And when a guy walked in without a mask and they said, hey, to be in here, you have to wear a mask. And the guy took it out of his pocket and put it right on. No problems. Everyone was civil about it. But people are walking around not wearing masks and people are walking around wearing masks. So it's like, it's up to you. It's up to you kind of thing where I live.
Yeah. But I'm glad people are doing it in business. And that's one of the things, and that's what people talk about. Well, the science this and the science that and the science that. Science changes, information changes, research that we get changes. So it's not like, oh, we're just taking this or taking that. I follow when I'm reading up about the science and this. I'm trying to look for what officials are saying, and I'm cross-referencing health officials from the CDC, from the World Health Organization, etc. I'm not looking for. I don't even want to read Fox News' take on the health official statements or CNN's take on the health official statements because they're going to put their own spin on it. I want to go to the source and try to get the science and do what's best. But I'm with you. The social distancing, all that stuff, that basic common sense of like stay in your fucking bubble. Our inability to do that as a society is why our flu season is so bad to begin with, because people don't do the basic common sense things of during flu season, wash your hands more, stay further away from people, don't go out if you're sick, all that kind of stuff that you're already
common sense. I know exactly. You're already supposed. I was already doing that. The only thing, and that I've said this, the only thing that changed about my life as far as COVID was that I have a mask and that I couldn't find toilet paper for a while. Nothing else about my life has changed. Because I already social distancing, washing my hands. Who needs to be told to wash their fucking hands? I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that having personal space was a fucking thing or was an issue, aside to like a few weirdos out there. Exactly. Apparently, people have not been washing their hands and they do not understand the concept of a bubble, like a personal space bubble. But I was going to tell you something just now, and you remember that clip that was going around with Joe Rogan and Bill Burr? Is that his name? The comedian?
Yeah.
Like I check the news like once every couple of weeks. I'm like, mask, no mask, still mask. All right, I'll wear a mask. That's when I'm at. I'm like, okay, I check every now and again. Are we still wearing masks? Okay, we are. Cool. I'll keep wearing it. I have no interest in the medical, I want to say industry, because in my opinion, it actually is. Because what I'm one of those people that I'm like, I think if they start having vaccines, all of these drug companies, pharmaceutical companies, they'll lose all their money and they're a huge industry. So I honestly think that they've had the cure for a lot of disease and they just don't want to give it because they would lose all this money.
A lot of it, they don't even have the cure. They don't put the research into getting it. We're not going to be the country that cures cancer. We're not going to be the country that finds the cure for
I feel like cancer has been cured. I feel the way that, from my understanding of how cancer works, and my grandma had it a few times. My mother has had it. Every woman in my family has died of breast cancer. I already know that's what my fate is going to be. So I feel like this is something that they've had, unless it mutates and stuff like that. But even still, I feel like the cure for cancer has been there for decades now, and they just don't want to release it because they'll lose all this money.
You're 100% right, though. There's no money in cures. There's only money in
and that's my conspiracy theory for the day. That's something that I do believe.
Honestly, it's not even that far of a conspiracy. I don't necessarily know I believe they actually have the cure, but I do know that they do not put research. I know drug companies who are it's always the pharmaceutical companies.
Well, why would they? Because they're going to
lose their jobs. Exactly.
That one guy, I know, I remember, so I have a lot of friends that are gay. I have a lot of friends that are gay. Surprise, I lived in San Francisco for 5 years. And I have a lot of family members that are gay too. But so there was this one drug. So if you have HIV or AIDS, it's this one drug that you have to take every single day. And it went from being like a $30 refill to a $700 refill. And this is a pill that you need to take every single day to survive if you have HIV or AIDS. And somebody bought it and then skyrocketed the price. And it's because they were exploiting that market.
Pharmaceutical companies are death merchants. That's all they peddle in death. They make money off of disease. They make money off of death, which is actually, it's terrible because they operate like that. Hospitals operate like that. They operate as a business. And meanwhile, you have the people who have spent years studying to be doctors because they legitimately want to help people. And they're concerned with medical science and they're concerned with helping people. And they can't get the money for the research for the projects they want to do. Right there. You talk about that. A perfect example is diabetes, right? There's a lot of evidence to suggest that if the money that's been put into type 2 diabetes was put into type 1 diabetes, we would have a cure for type 1 diabetes right now. For those who don't know, type 1 diabetes, that's what's hereditary. That's genetic. You're born with it. You usually kicks in somewhere for a lot of kids, early childhood, somewhere during their childhood, pre-adolescence, and stuff like that. Sometimes later, but it's not your fault. You didn't do anything to contribute to it. You got it. You couldn't help it. And it's the one with all the complications. That's the one where you're going to possibly lose eyesight. We're going to have, get gangrenous infections where your lifespan is almost certainly going to be shortened because of it, because of a choice, not of a choice you made, of a disease you were born with. Meanwhile, type 2 diabetes affects people, for the most, there are people who are predisposed to it, but it is controllable. It is reversible. Even if you have it, just with diet and exercise, you can reverse the effects.
Women that are pregnant, you can get diabetes when you're pregnant, and then it ends after you're done.
Exactly. You can reverse type 2 diabetes with natural causes, but because that's rich people get it. Rich people who don't take care of themselves, who live lavish lifestyle, put money into research, and now there's all these medications, all these different things to help control and combat type 2 diabetes when it's your own fucking fault you got it in the first place. Meanwhile, type 1 diabetes, people are still suffering, they're still losing body parts, they're still dying over it because the money's not there, because there's no money in curing that, because the money they make off of producing insulin, the testing strips that they make, the testing machines that they make, all of this stuff, there's so much money in that. They don't want to lose that, even at the expense of countless lives.
Well, look at it. Like Rian Johnson has had AIDS since before I was alive, and he's still kicking strong while his other people die like that. It's like, that's one of those things. I'm like, I honestly feel if you're rich enough,
you could practically live forever. I mean, you could be
that. And the pharmaceutical companies, it's a money-making industry. If anything, it's the biggest money-making industry in the world, but it doesn't get categorized as that.
But you even hear about things like experimental cures for life-threatening diseases where there are no other options. Yeah, if you can throw thousands of dollars at it, sure, maybe you'll get this experimental treatment and maybe it works. But if you're poor, screw you, you're going to die.
Well, I don't want to say who it is, but somebody that I know, their best friend, mother, okay. So, boyfriend's mother's best friend. We're going to just call her Susie. So Susie had brain cancer, right? She had stage 4 brain cancer and it was spreading throughout her body. They gave her like a few months to live. Her and her sisters were on top of everything. And they weren't just going through the what pharmaceutical companies and what doctors recommend. Well, they did what the doctors recommended, but they looked everywhere, did every single type of research. How is this cancer spreading? How do we stop it? What have other people seen? Not just in America, but other countries. They were getting translators to, translate all these different, medical journals and all these different experiments. They went from her stage 4 brain cancer, you're going to die in a few months, to it being in remission. She lived for 3 more years and she was completely fine until all of a sudden they went to the doctor again. And since they had, taken a few steps back on the treatments and everything, because they thought that she was doing better, they could relax a little bit, went back to the doctor, she was sick again. And, her body just couldn't take going through that another time. And then she passed away. But going from a few months, a life expectancy, 2 years, because they did all these treatments, she was doing so much better. And then obviously when you are weak, you're susceptible to that. But it was, because I remember watching all of that happen, from just here, I never met her, but watching it, being friends on Facebook, seeing progress pictures and going, wow, for just the difference between her at this month to this. And then I was shocked when she did pass away, because she was doing so well and they had done so much for her. But like her and her sisters, they were on a mission to keep her alive. Like they stopped their entire life to, yeah.
But not everyone's that lucky, and it shouldn't have to be that way. It should be, if we can help people in those ways, I don't see why we shouldn't. I got a couple super chats in here. Mr. Another says, good night, Johnny. Night, Hamburg. Night, Mr. Another. Swinging Cod says, it isn't so much education as understanding you have skin in the game for the future. It's a great point, too. Heinlein was right. Service for franchise. P.S. Show us your butt, Anna.
No, did you hear about that, Jesse?
I did hear about that. That's stupid. I'm mad because this is like, it's just annoying. I've joked before. I'm like, oh, I never get the weird, creepy messages or the, no one sends me the sex toys and stuff like that. But it's like, it's funny to look at like the difference in the ways. And this is goes for everyone. Everyone sort of gets a different treatment. It reminds me of a lot of other things I've done in my life where it's like the rules apply differently to everyone. People have seen my butt countless times, from standing up, sitting down. There's even a video way back where I'm lying on my face, and all people are talking about, because you can see my butt in my little pajama shorts. All people are talking about is that, but it's just sort of stayed there. No one ever clipped that, threw it around like that. Same thing. I comments all over the video where I surprised my family when I went home for the Super Bowl, Eagles and all that shit. I'm just wearing my big old Eagles sweatpants. By the way, yes, I am a gigantic, massive, diehard Eagles fan. I have an Eagles drawer in my house that's just Eagles clothes. But anyway, but everyone's about that, but people sort of like, it comes, it ebbs and flows. People talk about it in my chat and this, but for some reason, everyone gets one little clip of part of Anna's butt and loses their fucking minds over it. Like, come on, people. Why do you think, this is like, why
I got super embarrassed, and I felt so bad because I was just standing up, and for boys that don't know, when you wear because it's a high-waisted skirt, and so it's like when you sit down, it like kind of rides up, and so when you stand up, you kind of got to pull down. I didn't realize it was that high, but I would have turned off my camera, but I didn't think about it. But Ethan and all the guys were saying that's the amount that you would see if you were wearing a swimsuit, so not to feel bad. But I was so embarrassed.
No, don't be embarrassed. Here, I'll show. Well, I'm wearing pants today. But I was like, I'll show that much of my butt if it makes you feel better. But guys, I know it's fun. It's fun to do that and stuff. But chill, all right? Because this is why Anna is so careful whenever she turns over camera to stand up. She wears like shirts up to here and crap like that because of y'all who freaking do this stuff to her. So chill. We know Anna is one. The third turn, if you missed it, I'm pretty sure it's people put pictures everywhere. So, but chill, okay? If you want to see skin, there's a picture of me in a bikini on my Instagram somewhere. All right, look at my body. I don't care. So
Kitty!
That's Kitty. There's Mel. There's the brother. Should be a cake. What's up?
Little butthead that knocked over the sauce.
Yes, the bad boy. He's got an Instagram. It's at @shitpancake if you guys want to follow him and see how bad he is all the time. He's going to have a YouTube channel real soon. He's so bad. He's just real bad. Yes, he is. Oh, he's so cute, though. You just can't stay mad at this little guy. You just can't. Oh my God. I'm covered in hair now. That's great because I got to shoot later. I'm making a music video, so.
Ooh, what are you filming? I have stuff to do today. I'm so stressed. So I got in a car accident, everyone. Somebody rear-ended me, and my car makes a weird noise it won't go over 40 miles an hour. And it's not fun. Everything that could possibly go wrong is going wrong in my life. But I have to go out of town tomorrow, and so I'm renting a car for the first time, and I got to go pick it up and then drive like 7 hours.
Are you old enough to rent a car yet?
I don't know. I did it through one of those apps where they don't ask you your age. As long as you have a driver's license. Yeah, I'm 9 years old, so they're gonna rent a car out to a 9-year-old. But yeah. Oh yeah, I got hit. Kid didn't have insurance. And it was like, can we do first? He's like, my dad and brother have a shop, they can fix it. And I was like, okay. And then he changed his story later because boyfriend came and he's just like, what's going on? And I was like, oh yeah, he said his brother and dad have a shop. He's like, well, actually they just watch YouTube videos and they know how to fix those kind of things. And I was like,
no, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. But Yeah, so I'm not happy about that, but I have so many. I finished those signings. I got to do that. I haven't put out a video in like 2 weeks because sorry everyone, I've just been really depressed, and I don't think you guys want to watch a video of me 10 minutes going, yeah, da, 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 da. But
swinging contests. I was just screwing around because I was watching the stream, Jesse. Sorry, I won't take the piss out of you guys anymore. Oh, it's no problem.
Okay. It's okay. I get it. I can tell when people are joking, but then like, there's some creepers out there.
Yeah, George Swing Hot, this isn't for you. We know it's always in good fun coming from you, but not everyone is so good-natured about it, let's just say.
Somebody says Anna does the 2 kids on a trench coat trick to drive. I actually have like a stool. That
was my favorite. Did you watch BoJack Horseman?
No.
Oh my god, it's fun. It's dark, but it's fun. But one of the great conceits, it's like a multi-episode arc where one of the characters thinks she's found this great guy to date. It's literally 3 kids standing on each other's shoulders in a trench coat pretending to be an adult, and she dates him for like many episodes.
Oh my god, that just reminds me of like the Little Rascals though.
It does. But yes, someone was asking my Instagram. It's at Mindless Entertainment. So if you do want to go see the Jessie in a swimsuit, by all means, go check it out. It's great. It's fun. It's actually a funny story to that too, because it was a while ago, just when my channel started getting big, someone reached out to me and he asked me if he could pay me to send him pictures of me in a swimsuit. And I did. I don't care. I like my body. I like my body.
How much did he pay you?
$50 a picture for 3 for front, back, and a side. Yeah. And so I made it sound all like you got to sign this NDA. You can't put these anywhere, all this stuff. And I sent it to him, and then he got gross, being like, "Oh, I jacked off." I'm like, "Ew, don't tell him. This is a business transaction. Go away." And then later on, he reached out.
Don't tell me about it.
Exactly. I don't want to know. What you do, that is your business. And my money. The end. And then I made and then later on, he reached something about, he must have left a comment on a video, and I guess I replied. I don't even remember it. And he was like, "Oh, can't handle the truth, huh?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You know what I'm talking about. You replied to my comment." I'm like, I read so many comments. I don't know what you said, or I don't
know what your YouTube username is compared to your email.
Right. Like, it meant literally nothing. It meant literally nothing to me. So whatever.
Somebody's saying you should start an OnlyFans.
So he was, I guess so. So he's all like, "Oh, and this," and trying to like shame me over the picture when I'm like, I'm not embarrassed about it. It's a picture. Like, you're the idiot here. You paid me $150 for pictures I would gladly post live. So I turned around and just posted it on my Instagram right there. I'm like, here you go. Here you go. So that picture, congratulations, because you guys don't suck like this guy. You guys can see my bikini clad picture for not $50 for free at Mindless Entertainment on Instagram.
I got this swimsuit. It's long sleeved, and because it's when the gyms do open up, I am gonna get a membership so that way I can start swimming laps again, because I get pissed off. And that's a very good way to blow off steam. And also, swimming exercises every muscle in your body. Did you watch Rocky 3 when Apollo's training him? And he's like, "Get in the fucking pool and swim laps, bitch," and he does. But so yeah, I have that. Maybe I'll post a picture of that on 4th of July with my swim cap and my goggles.
You guys ain't getting any bikini pics of me until I get rid of this corona weight. But then,
I don't know if you'd be interested, but Drunk 3PO is going to do a stream where we're all in bikini. He's got to wear underoos of He-Man, and then I said I would try to find a Portuguese bikini. Tugs is going to wear an American flag one. Mara is going to wear an Australian one. Do you want to come on and wear a bikini?
Sure. I got to figure out what my brand is. Oh, I'll get an Eagles bikini.
Yeah, I was going to say wear an Eagles bikini.
Get an Eagles bikini, and then I'm down.
It's going to be on Drunk 3PO's stream, so everyone go subscribe to Drunk 3PO if you want to see me in a bikini, Tugs in a bikini, Mara Jade in a bikini, and potentially Jessie in a bikini. But I think all of us ladies are the most excited to see Drunk 3PO, the most handsome man on YouTube, in He-Man underoos.
I am very excited for this.
Somebody send it to him, please.
But yeah, that's honestly, if you guys want to see more of me, though, I am probably going to post weight loss progress pictures on Instagram.
Oh, good for you.
I'm very excited. I stepped on the scale. I was like, I just have to know, so I know I can track the progress. I ain't stepping on it again for a long ass time. But let's suffice to say,
there's
is carrying a lot of extra weight right now.
Hey, your boobs and your ass get bigger, right?
Yeah, that's true. Jeff has been enjoying, some of the effects of the weight gain. Mr. Another says, I never actually leave. Of course you didn't. Had to cheers to you, cheeky ladies. Bottoms up. JK, sorry, not sorry for bad puns. We love you anyway, Mr. Another. We enjoy your trolling. You never have to be sorry. needs to keep going.
I think I like one piece bathing suits better than two because one piece they can't like come off because I was at Laguna Beach and the waves were intense and it ripped off my bottoms.
One piece
They're
is
the most embarrassing
better
ever.
some of my swimsuits. I'm like, these swimsuits are not rated for ocean because there's a big difference between jumping in a swimming pool and getting pounded by waves. That sounded really inappropriate.
That did sound very inappropriate.
Pounded by that ocean.
Oh yeah.
I love it so much.
Do you know who loves the ocean?
Yeah.
My Tulip.
Oh, Tulip on the beach.
I haven't seen Tulip in 4 days. I'm so sad.
Where is she?
Peaches took her with him because he went up north for his family reunion, and there's going to be a lot of tiny humans. And his parents, his dad's lab is her bestest friend in the whole wide world.
Oh, that's
and
fair.
so he took her because he's like, there's going to be a lot of children. Which is Tulip's favorite because she gets all the attention, and then her bestest friend. And I was like, okay, she hasn't seen her bestest friend in the whole wide world in a long time, so I let her. But look at your face; you got to wash your away.
Oh, what a baby! No, Alejandro, not for Anna, because if you have bigger tits, it keeps the swimsuit on top. For me, it's the opposite. I'm very big on the bottom. My swimsuit ain't going nowhere down there. I do have the top coming up problem, but yes. Oh, goodness. You provide any more Tulip pictures?
Here's a picture of me in a bathing suit on the beach. It's a one piece with jeans, and then there's the Tulip.
Tulip. There you go. Suffice. Yeah. I do like some of the way that some of the cuts of the one pieces where they have like the neat like cutouts in the middle part and stuff. Brian Juarez wants to know when the bikini stream is.
Once they come in. Oh, there's a better picture. See, there's me and a Tulip. There's a Tulip.
Thank
you so much.
You're so.
My dad came down because how I was supposed to go up there for Father's Day, but then he ended up coming down, and I took him to the puppy beach with Tulip.
Aw, that sounds
Dad.
That sounds so cute. What was I gonna say? Oh, I asked something and I forget what I asked. But
You need a German Shepherd? No. I want a little dog that I can hold. The only problem with Tulip is she thinks that she's a big dog, and she's like, oh, there's a Mastiff on the beach. There's a Husky. There's a Doberman. Let me fucking fight him. And I'm like, Tulip, you little shit. That dog's bigger than I am. You can't fight that dog. I'm going to die. What's that face, Jesse? Oh, no, Jesse froze.
Rachel.
You froze. Oh, you're back.
Oh, man. What? You froze for me for a second, too. You were roboting for me. You're back. You back? You be good? We here?
I had jeans on because it was cold.
All right. We're all back. Well, yeah. Dude, people don't realize beaches are windy and cold here. Everyone's like, yeah, LA beaches. Like, yes, during the nice summer months, they're gorgeous. But during a lot of the year, they're windy and chilly.
It's cold at the beach.
It does get cold at the beach. And,
Santa Monica, you need a jacket to go to the beach.
I always, even in the summertime, I bring jackets if I'm going to be there past dark. Because once the sun goes down, it is not warm. And the Pacific Ocean is fucking cold.
It is.
If we were on this parallel on the other side of the country, the ocean water would be like 80 degrees. For us, nah. Our fucking ocean doesn't get over 70. Ugh. It's gross. But we have hit our 2-hour mark, and we have exhausted our main peaking points. So especially I know we both have a lot of stuff to do this afternoon, and this is our goal. We did it. We were only like 12 minutes late today, and or something more. Wait, 20 minutes.
Like 21 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah, 21 minutes late. I was 12 minutes late last night. We were 21 minutes late today, which is really good for us, and we're wrapping up at our 2-hour mark. So we did it. We're getting the swing of this. We're working out the kinks. We're getting the swing of the matriarchy just in time for me to be out of town next week. So make sure, y'all, I'm sure you're also already subscribed to That Star Wars Girl. If you're not subscribed to Anna, make sure you do that. Matriarchy is on her channel next week. You will be without me, but I'm sure she'll find a wonderful fill-in. Maybe Mecha Random will pop in. And I will be back the week after that to figure out, and we'll find out who we're canceling next time. And
canceled.
All right. Anything else? Anything you want to say?
Posted a video.
Who did what?
Prince Harry talking about racism.
Because I'm sure he knows so much about racism, being, a prince and very white. I bet he's the authority on racism in the UK. All right. Anything else you want to say? Add before you bounce?
I really have to fucking pee. But the trading card, I finished signing the trading card. So for everyone that missed the stream, so Jesse, I got all my. I think I have. Oh, here is my sample. Yeah, this is one of my samples. So this is a Vampirella trading card. I got it and I signed it. So a majority of them are signed with red. Okay, and then I did one stream that was on my channel where I signed like the last 200 of them in gold. And then I signed 26 of them with a blue, and then I colored in her lips to be red. I'll post a picture. So, and I numbered them too. It's like 1 out of 26, 2 out of 26. So there's 26 of them that are the rarest ones. I have no control over who gets them. None at all. If you ordered it when the campaign was still live, not in demand, you will be getting one. If you get a red one, those are the ones that I signed on Ethan's stream and I was on Drunk's stream. Those are the first ones that I signed. Then I signed the last 200 in gold, which was on my stream. And then the very last 26 ones that I had saved, and I didn't know how many there were. I just had a little small deck and I was like, okay, they're 26. Those are the rarest ones. And so, yeah, so I tried to do something even more like a little special when I was signing them. So, yeah.
Well, if you guys like watching signings, Jeff only has black markers, but he is going to be on video and signing books.
I went out and bought a bunch of markers, and then they had an entire bag full of markers in the box to use. And so I just kept them because they're going to send me the other comics that I need to sign. So I was like, I'll just keep these and use them. So yeah. And she froze. I have to pee so bad. Did you finish your super chats? Unfreeze, woman. I have to pee. I'm going to pee on camera.
Yeah, we froze. We're back. Super. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure that we got all the super chats. Okay. I think the last one was from
next week on my channel. I'm going to message Mecca and see if she wants to come on. If she can't, I will find another lovely lady to come on with me. But that sounds terrible. Get your mind out of dinner.
And now, yes. So Anna can pee. Goodbye, everybody. Farewell. Raylo sucks.